For your fucking life. Watch out, they are coming to fight you.
Warning, your nemesis. Warning, your nemesis. Warning, your nemesis. Warning, your nemesis.
Hello and welcome in to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Tonight, we're back at it on a Friday night with our Black Box VR 2020 Winter Invitational. I am Michael Fisher, joined once again by Amber Parker to call all of the action. Last time, we saw just a handful of the matches in our breakdown here. Started with 16 competitors. Now we're on to the quarterfinals, Amber, and this is where we're going to see who is really ready to go here and who's going to be moving on to our semifinals as we start to whittle down the competition.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct, Fish, and I'm happy to be back. Thanks for having me, and I'm really looking forward to this next level of competition.
And I think the biggest thing that I didn't know about, we were just talking about, Black Box VR, is apparently you guys did some nerfs to some of the OP strategies that we saw a lot of people using last time. So we might see people run into some issues if they go back with the Rock Dude and the Scotty that we saw last time. Because apparently you guys have made some changes that I was even unaware about.
This is true, and it's one of the things when we all started watching people, we wanted them to start mixing it up, and and by mixing up, because it is an exercise, what that ends up doing is that makes you use different muscle groups when you're using different strategies. So all in all, it has a good benefit, but I know for sure from what I've been hearing that this next competitor that they're taking on is absolutely intense, so should be interesting.
Yeah, I'll be really curious to see, like you said, if we see any differentiations from the strategies. I mean, we saw a couple people throw in some lightning tigers here and there. I will say I definitely learned something. Is usually I would go for the max amount of points. I would destroy a gate, then I'd destroy the other gate, then I'd destroy the crystal. As we learned last time, it's all about you put all of your resources onto one gate, and then you just immediately destroy the crystal from there. If none of what I'm saying makes sense, just wait for us to get into our first game. It'll make total sense. And then you realize, wait, this is people working out. This just looks like a video game. But it's actually a great combination of both. As you see there, 60 competitors, a futuristic VR esport, and it's gaming plus serious fitness. If you're in Boise, you want to go check them out. They're in the Zions Bank building. Highly recommended. I've been going there myself. Actually going to go in tomorrow as well, so I cannot wait to see if I can learn anything from our competitors tonight. Here's our win conditions. It is most crystals destroyed. We're not going based on points. If there's a tiebreaker, then we will go to higher score differentials. Both competitors are taking on an AI boss. And then if that is tied, which we saw last week, it will go to total volume of pounds lifted, which I'm hoping we don't have any tie there, because then we might just flip a coin. But I'll be curious to see it, because last week was very, very close for the most part. Amber, we had a double tiebreaker, we had one extra tiebreaker, and everything else felt like it was just 1 or 2 crystals difference.
They were very close, and that just says to just how hard these people work on their own time. Not just to mention this having this extra incentive with the competition. These people work out and they really dedicate themselves to this new sport that we've created.
You see our bracket here that we're going to be highlighting in the quarterfinals. As we said, we started with 16. We're now down to 8. A lot of these names are names that if you watched last time, you'll be familiar with, that we were able to catch on the streams. We didn't catch all of the games in the first round of 16. Is there any competitor here, Amber, that you're really looking forward to seeing how they perform tonight?
Well, I'm actually interested to see how all of this goes down. At this point, we've narrowed it down to such a pool that I know all of these people individually, and so I have to kind of root for all of them to some extent. But, as far as a specific person, that's just a secret I'm not going to share.
All right, well, we'll let you have that secret, though it's not a secret. It's a different boss this time. Last time it was Kamiko, and this time it is the Brute, as we're going to see right here. And a lot of high-level attacks, looks like, especially on his fire beam up at level 31, and then you look at those battle deck champions, everything in the upper 20s and couple in the 30s. It's going to be very, very tough for our competitors to be able to take down some of his champions that he's able to get out on the field.
Exactly, and actually that Shield Maiden at that point, I think if we did the math right, it's like a 90,000 health. It's insane. So what you have to do is you have to put all your exercises on heavy, and you really need to push. So this is going to test people in a way that we have not before.
Yeah, it also looked like he had the Sunbird, which is going to challenge the competitors just a little bit depending on their deck. Since it is an aerial unit, it can't just be taken down by their own champions depending on what they summon. So I'll be curious. I've been using that actually a lot. The AI I know gets confused. I'll put a Sunbird down and they're just like, yeah, I don't want to attack that thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to complain about it. So I'm curious to see how the AI uses their own Sunbird as we get our first matchup here between Preston and Andrew, as we're about to kick things off in their first match of the quarterfinals here in our 2020 Winter Invitational. Any tips for the first couple minutes here as they get ready to kick off?
I honestly, with the Brute being modified to the point for this specific competition, I'm kind of interested to see what they need to do to pull this off. I could imagine that wasting no time is really key.
Yeah, it looks like it was already that Shield Maiden that you were talking about. She's already on the field for both competitors. Yeah, you can see right there, they're each doing the super effective lightning attack, 1,200 each time, not even phasing that Shield Maiden right now.
Not even a little bit. And then the only thing you can do when you have a water unit coming at you, the best thing to do is to use, our air. So the row and the lat pull down is going to be what you're going to have to use for that. And that's going to be a lot of back muscles.
It looks like both of them actually hit the max reps already. So there is a cutoff, so you can't just keep going forever. But it looks like Preston, who we're watching right now, he's just going to re-queue up the row exercise, try to do it again. He's also going to get himself a title out on the field. Not something we saw a lot last time, but going to be able to maybe soak some damage on that right side.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting champion to go for with this, knowing that one of the strongest ones is going to be a water unit as well. But, Title's just off there to go do his own business, so that leaves Preston able to work on that gate.
Gets the Shield Maiden down. I'm guessing he's going to go on the right side. I know his right side gate's taking a ton of damage. You can see it 41%. Now here comes the rock dude that we've been talking about that we saw a ton of last time with all that energy elixir he got from the Shield Maiden.
Yeah, this would be a good time to deploy him for sure.
Yeah, looks like he maybe wants to go right lane. Oh, yes, the Lightning Tiger. This is what I'm here for. I know you said that the Spark Crows you've been told are really strong, but I love the Lightning Tiger. I think it's a fun little strategy. He runs all the way down, doesn't get stopped by enemy units. I think he's an awesome little creature. I love using him.
Oh, absolutely. He is a good one to use. I think it's just an effective strategy to put a Lightning Tiger or two out with a tank instead of just, relying just on a Scotty for, your ranged attack. Because he just gets right in there and gets to business.
So we get back on we've been watching Preston for the most part. Looks like Andrew is opted to go for the left lane, it looks like. And looks like he's got a rock dude and some Spark Crows down there. So he's not doing too bad. Can't quite see what the gate's at, unfortunately. But they look pretty close right now in our first 3 minutes.
Looks.
Oh, actually, Andrew's got a gate down, so he's in the lead. A little bit, unofficially, of course. Crystals are the main thing, but he's got access to the crystal right away.
That's definitely helpful.
Yeah, he's got a rock dude and some Lightning Tigers down there. Both of them actually going with squats right now.
Squats are a good way to just eat through a gate or a crystal very quickly. I mean, typically legs are going to be most people's strongest muscle group. So if anything, you got to fall back on that. That's a good one.
25 reps is the max.
So we see Preston's already maxed his squats. Andrew's going to give up just before. And he's got that crystal already down to 70%. So, I mean, Andrew's got himself a nice little lead right now as he's going to summon. I didn't even see what it was. It was that quick.
Yeah, that was really fast.
Oh, I don't even know. All right. I mean, there's some of the button, the punch slice combos that I have down, but none of them I'm that quick on. It looks like that was. I can't tell who that was.
That seemed like it might have been an Aqua Fist. I don't know what he just threw out there.
We see.
Oh, we got a big Sue coming.
Heavy mode is now available.
Well, heavy mode unlocks at probably the perfect time for Preston.
This will definitely give these guys a leg up here.
The other good news is that all of the Brutes champions are on the left side. So even though he lost the right side gate, all those champions have to get through that left side gate first. That does give him a little bit of an advantage.
Now, the one way to get to your hysterical is to use heavy. I mean, I don't know any other way to end up getting to hysterical power other than putting things on heavy. So at this point, this is going to give both guys a huge helping hand.
Yeah, it gives them the hysterical, which is 4 times damage. So if you follow your triangle correctly and you have super effective damage, you're going to throw out a ton of damage, just rip through those units like we just saw. Andrew right now, he's got the Brutes Crystal at 30%. He's doing a lot of work here early. He's off to quite the early lead over Preston, I think. And he gets double damage mode.
Yeah, he is.
And that's the one thing I will have to say I don't understand. Is double damage mode like random, Amber, or is there times it comes in? Because I know when I'm competing, I'm like, did I earn this double damage mode? Do you know if it's random or not when it spawns?
I honestly have been trying to pinpoint that myself. It seems as though a certain amount of time needs to lapse before the game will actually let you do that. And it seems to always happen after, of course, you get to the first round, you unlock that heavy, some time passes. And I think it might be, based on the amount of damage you've done, then you get to unlock that double damage.
Yeah, that could be huge for someone like Andrew, who's got the crystal already at 10%. Unfortunately, he's going to have to summon a couple of champions there. He's not going to be able to directly attack the crystal with that. Looks like a sunbird in his way.
The lag pull-down air attack will do double damage to water enemies. Bust out
Oh,
some
and he's got a
rats.
shield maiden coming. He's got to get through that sunbird quickly. He did it. I think he's going to be able to get the first crystal of our match here.
Yep, there he goes.
Nice little start for Andrew. So like we said, the points are irrelevant for now. Crystal's destroyed is the first, decision here. So right now Andrew, he's got a 1 crystal lead, and Preston's still, at 70%, and his own crystal's under attack as well. He's got to be careful, because if you lose your crystal, your round resets and all that progress you made is for nothing.
This is true, and then if it ever comes down to a score for a tiebreak or anything like that, I mean, it just puts you in a tricky spot.
Proper exercise for
And the score tiebreakers, if they have the same crystals destroyed. We saw that happen a lot, but it looks like Preston, he might have had double damage mode, because when I looked, the crystal was at 70%, and now he destroyed it. So he's not too far behind Andrew, actually, even though Andrew had a really good start.
Yeah, they're very close right now.
It looks like the sidekicks and power-ups are available. Each competitor has the same sidekick in the Firehawk that'll just clear the entire lanes. Don't know what their power-ups are. Haven't been able to catch what power-ups they're using.
And it looks like Andrew's working on a shield maiden right there.
Maybe another one. Did also see that Preston, I think, has the one of the towers available to use. We saw some competitors really abuse those and get huge towers, and they last even through the reset. So I'll be curious to see when any of these competitors want to maybe build their first tower.
They're very helpful. And sometimes it's good just to sit on them for a minute and have them built up when those little bit of lulls that you get, and then throw them out when you absolutely need it.
There's that hysterical 6,000 damage lightning bolts on the shield maiden, able to rip through her, and now Preston's going to put a decent chunk there on that gate, hitting for about 5% every single rep. Not too bad. I don't even know how he got the max reps there. That is just...
That's insane.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, it's, I think, 25 is the max reps that you can do, and he just cruised through that like that was nothing.
Oh, yeah, and I doubt that he dropped it down from heavy.
Okay. One rock dude being summoned. Preston has a ton of energy elixir. Curious what else. There, looks like he's going to go with the... He's still going with the classic combo. He's going with the rock dude and the Scott. He's right behind him. I just want to see more lightning tigers. That's way more fun.
They are really fun.
Andrew debating if he maybe wanted to use the Firehawk there. Decides against it. I guess he was waiting for that squat to get ready to take down the Sunbird.
Hello? You need to deploy the champion you built.
Maya getting sassy.
She gets very sassy if you want to take a break or anything. She's like, what are you doing? You got to keep going.
Exactly. Why did you come here?
I was like, please, I just needed 2 extra seconds, please. I will say, we were talking about how good the Brute is. We can see the his overall level. These guys are a higher level than the Brute, which is pretty dang impressive to me.
And that's because we're dealing with Diamond League players right now. These are people that have put a lot of time and effort into this game, and definitely training to be very good at this sport.
Yeah, they are just making what I do on a, 3 times a week basis look like chump change. But we see Preston, he not only destroyed the tower, he's also got a gate down. He's going after the crystal. He's got his Scotties. Another max rep. That's just insane to me. I usually get maybe 1 or 2, but now he's going to go on light. Take a little bit of a break there.
Yep, give those muscles a little bit of a break. Totally understandable.
Oh, maybe nope. Decided. Looked like Andrew might thought about building a tower. He's also got pretty much the same strategy. He's got his 2 Scotties. So both of them should destroy a crystal at about the same amount of time here. Preston's going to get his right there. So he's now in the lead.
There he is. Yep.
But barely. Andrew's pretty close. So as long as he doesn't, have a shield maiden summoned against him, he should be fine. got that crystal at 25% and dropping pretty quickly on those squats with the hysterical. That should be easy for him as well. Oh! He thought his Scotty was going to take it down and it got sniped, so the crystal's still at 1%.
Oh, that is so frustrating when that happens. You got to just completely just refocus and load something up very quickly.
Yeah, because there is that little 10-second break when the round resets, so he was like, okay, I can take my little extended break. We've seen a lot of people do that, and he did get 2 lightning tigers down, so he should be fine, but that is very unfortunate. That little bit extra time might cost him, because right now these competitors are very, very close.
They really are, and, well, and since you have to use heavy mode so much on this particular match, it's going to really test your endurance.
Yeah, however much, if you can build up any advantage early on in the match, I have to think that's going to help, that you could maybe just cruise a little bit in those last 10 minutes if you have an advantage. But right now we see another Rock Dude here for Preston. I'm really excited. I actually just unlocked the Rock Dude. I cannot wait to see him in action. That slice punch combo seems totally intense. I'm sure the first time I summon him, I'll be like, what am I doing again? These guys just make it look easy.
You know, when I finally could deploy a Rock Dude with a little bit of health shield on it, I was very proud of myself. Because that is he's got a big punch pattern. That should be the next competition we have, is we should just bring people in and we'll just make them do punch patterns like dance moves.
There we go. Yeah, see how fast you can get your punch patterns out? I like that. Does look like Andrew did get that crystal down, by the way, but he's trying to clear that shield maiden, just barely alive. And meanwhile, Preston, he's already setting up. He's got a Rock Dude, 2 Scotties. He's ready to go. He's already in his let's go formation. So that little bit of time Andrew lost coming back to cost him very quickly.
Yeah, this is a match that I don't think anybody has any time to even take a breath on.
Well,
unless it's a post-crystal, breather.
Yep.
But during the match, it's just going to have to be back-to-back. I would be scared to actually try to do towers on something like this. So you'd have to have a decent buffer in order to get that out there.
Does look like Andrew used a Berserk power-up on his Scotties and his Spear NATO, and then they just all got immediately obliterated by something. That is very unfortunate to use a power-up and kind of just have it wasted for nothing.
Yes, that could be very disheartening.
Right now our score, I believe, is tied at 2 crystals apiece, and I have to see if Andrew's in the same score. As we said, crystals are the winning condition, then we'll go to point differential as Preston takes down a gate. So yeah, they're tied in crystals. Preston's just barely ahead, taking that gate down, and that should allow him to get this next crystal pretty dang quickly, as both his Scotties are still alive.
Yeah, with Preston having that gate down on the right side there, that's going to give him a nice advantage.
I wish I would have saw what happened to Andrew's Scotty, because he was all set up, ready to go. He had his Scotties and his Spear NATO, and he hit him with the Berserk power-up, and then all 3 of them just melted immediately to something, and that is kind of where he lost a lot of his push. And now you can see Preston's working on that last crystal. He should get it down here pretty quickly with the hysterical pull downs, unless he didn't get the proper form, so he'll have to restart here on a different exercise.
Yeah, Maya got grumpy with him. But when your lat pull downs are that heavy, it's very difficult.
Yeah, I'm waiting to get to the point where when I try to do a lat pull down, I go up in the air. Which I feel like is what would happen if I was on the weight these guys are on.
This is true. Well, we do have a weight vest in the closet there, so if you're ever curious, we can just weigh you down really good.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I might just go through the ceiling one of these days, but not quite. And it looks like Preston, unfortunately, having that improper form, he's going to have to deal with now a turret in his way. He's got a Rock Dude just beating on that crystal, but he's a great tank. He's not going to do a lot of damage, unfortunately.
This is true.
15 minutes left on the clock.
And looks like the gate for Andrews at like 48%, so he's a decent chunk behind. Not only on a gate, but you can see that Preston has that crystal at 10% right now.
And that's going to make all the difference right now.
Looks like there's a Sunbird in the way for Andrew, and there's a tower going up for the Brute. Preston's still trying to figure out a way to get these last 7% down on this crystal.
Double
Damage mode will help him, though.
That would really help. Him putting that on heavy and in double damage mode,
It's all out war.
that should be whittled down very quickly.
Looks like the Sunbird's been taken out there. And it looks like Andrew's also gotten the gate, so he's keeping pace here. He's pretty far behind on the crystal, but maybe he can force us to a tiebreak scenario if he can keep it up with Preston. They're both at 2 crystals aside. Preston, though, should be pretty close to getting his 3rd one.
Oh. Oh, he sent some Spark Crows out.
He's doing a ton of damage. He's just going to take this nice little break. Double damage mode. He's thinking about it. That Sunbird's doing a ton of damage to his units, unfortunately, as well. So all of his units just kind of got destroyed there. Does look like I heard that Preston was able to, I heard Maya congratulating him, so Preston has taken down his 3rd crystal, so he's in the lead, but double damage mode. If Andrew could rip out hysterical squats here, he might be able to get through this crystal. It's going to be pretty tricky. Oh no, he looked away too, so he's not going to be able to hit the crystal anymore. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that could be really tricky. You got to just keep your head in the right spot there. I've done that to myself several times.
Yeah, because if you're looking at the crystal and you're attacking it, and the AI summons a unit, you can still attack the crystal. But if you swap lanes, then unfortunately the game will say, well, now you have to destroy that unit, which has a ton of health at this level. I think it was level 29, and we see it looks like a max rep tower being built here by Preston. He is just impressing me with how many max rep he's getting, and we're already 18 minutes in, and he shows no signs of slowing down.
Yeah, he's definitely a impressive athlete when it comes to this.
Like we said, he's got the slight lead right now. He's got a Shield Maiden and a looks like that was his own tower. Going to help him out there just a little bit, but his gate's getting sieged pretty quickly here off the round restarting. Andrew, he's got a couple Scotties out. He's got that crystal dropping low. Maybe if he could finish the chest press, he could do it. No,
I ran out of reps.
Nice shot.
If he can get an exercise in quickly, he might be able to. Oh, there's a Shield Maiden coming. He's got to hope the machine moves fast for him. That could be very, very. There's the Shield Maiden.
Yep.
And he doesn't have a lightning attack ready. He switched to squats.
Hysterical.
That's just a big bummer for him, unfortunately.
Maintain proper exercise form.
Preston's pushing. You can tell right now, hitting hysterical with the lap pull downs. Again, the only way to hit hysterical is to put your exercise on heavy. It does make it very hard to keep your form, though, at the same time.
Yeah, to keep getting hystericals this late in is absolutely incredible. We saw Andrew was working on a lightning tower there. Try and help him out with that Shield Maiden. Which, I mean, that's just even more impressive that Preston was able to max rep his tower. Because, I mean, these are, like you said, they're all diamond level athletes. And Preston is just, I mean, you remember this in the round we had a couple weeks ago. He was just max repping really late into the rounds and on all his towers. And we rarely saw anyone else get a max strength tower.
It is really hard to do, for sure.
Crystal is exposed. Protect it at all costs.
Does look like Andrew has lost a gate here. I mean, if he can just get through that Shield Maiden, I mean, he still has... Oh, no, looks like he has used his Firehawk. Must have used it when we were off screen. Because I was going to say, if he had the Firehawk here, he should be able to. But now he's got to try and get through all 90,000 HP of that Shield Maiden?
Yes, which should technically be like 2, maybe 3 sets on heavy with Rogue.
That's just insane. I mean, he had the Lightning Tower helping him out there, so it is going to do a little bit of damage. And you can just see 20 minutes in, started to catch up to him. His own crystal actually might be destroyed here pretty quickly if he's not able to take down that Shield Maiden.
The maximum allowed. Put the handles down and load up something new.
And meanwhile, you can hear off screen, Preston is still just getting max rep after max rep, which is incredible to me.
It really is. You definitely know he felt this battle the next day.
Yeah, I would be impressed if he didn't need a couple days off after this one. Looks like he used one of his power-ups. I guess that was a Berserk. Or so I used it on the rock dude, so I didn't think it would be a berserk. Maybe a heal, maybe? I don't know what power up you would try and throw on your rock dude. He's got the.
You could do a heal, but that does a nice little green aura above them. Berserk is super helpful too, depending on what their health level's at.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, I'd be curious to see. You would think he would have saved the berserk for the 2 Scotties there, but regardless, I mean, he's just chilling right now. He's got his rock dudes and his 2 Scotties waiting there. Unfortunately, Andrew is just staring at a crystal that's at 15%. He just doesn't have an easy way to get through it. There's now a tower in his way. He's got a couple of Scotties back there, but I don't think it's going to be enough for him.
Preston building another tower.
He's got the gate down as well. His Scotties and rock dudes just beating away at the crystal. If he gets this other crystal, he should be pretty much in the clear.
He's taking a break there between his reps. That's how you know how heavy this is.
Got the double damage mode when he switches to a different exercise from building this turret. Still a pretty good, like 60% bonus armor. And hey, Andrew's gotten down that crystal finally, so he has tied things up for the time being. 8 minutes left. We'll see if he's able to keep pace here with Preston, who I think has a gate down right now. If not, I know he's incredibly close to getting that gate down. Yeah, it looks like the 5,000 points. He does have a gate down. He's going after that crystal right now.
Yeah, being able to get to the crystal at 7 minutes left, that's going to be very helpful.
Yeah, I know he's got the hysterical squats. I think he's still in double damage mode. If he could take down the 6% every single attack to the crystal. He's got this one in the bag, at least in terms of the crystal.
You did it.
Yeah, you can hear Maya cheering him. So I think he might be pretty safe. Andrew would need to get a crystal here in the next 7 minutes to force us to a tiebreaker in our first match here. Man, those shield maidens are pretty rough every time.
They are. I would not want to even deal with that, even a little bit.
God, it's the first thing she summons every single time. Gotta do either rows or lap pull downs to deal with her. I think you're right, that is an Aquafist. Maybe I just disrespect him. I don't really think Aquafist is that good, so the fact that Andrew's using him, pretty impressive to me.
You know, once he gets leveled up, he's not that bad. He does a decent amount of DPS, and it's pretty nice.
I know he's incredibly tanky. The AI always summons him on me. I'm like, can you just die already? Like, I don't know why you're so tanky, Mr. Aquafist man. So I could definitely see him being a nice little in-between tank and DPS. And he's pretty cheap as well, from what I remember.
This is true. Oh, it looks like Preston's really taking a breather right now.
Yeah, I mean, of course, they can't see each other's scores, so they have no idea. Preston would be, pretty happy to know he's soundly in the lead. He's got a 1 crystal lead here, 4-3. He's also still got 1 more power-up and his sidekick left, so, if things really go poorly, he would be totally okay just using his Firehawk, clearing the board, and having a ton of energy elixir.
This is true, but I think it's good that they can't see each other's scores, because then you don't try to coast through the rest of it.
Exactly. I mean, Andrew's still pretty close. He's, trying to take down that shield maiden. Unfortunately, looks like he had to switch to the squat, so not going to be doing super effective damage. And unfortunately for him, his reward for killing 1 is to turn around and see that, hey, there's another one coming right at you.
Yes. That can't feel good.
No, that has to be just so disheartening. Like, hey, I cut down the first, 90,000 health shield maiden, and then you're like, there's another one? Really?
Already?
How about no? Oh, he's gonna get some, get some lightning tigers going. Just make him dodge everything. I like him.
Don't stop now. This is your time to shine.
Interesting. Where's he gonna put the Scotty? Is he gonna put it behind the shield maiden and I guess hope she doesn't turn around?
That's risky.
Slice and punch through the red and
He
blue
has
patterns
lost
to build your champion.
the gate, so he's just got to go all out.
Looks like Preston might be having a little bit of technical difficulties over there.
Looks like he was able to get through it. Yeah, that's the worst is when you have like technical difficulties and Maya in her infinite robot wisdom doesn't understand. She's like, what are you doing? You just slice through the pattern. I'm like, I'm trying. I'm really trying.
Really, really trying here.
I would love to if I could. I think Preston, 4 minutes here. It's got a full crystal, and unfortunately, Andrew, you can see there, his crystal's just getting beat down. I mean, Preston might even be able to get a gate here and maybe another crystal if he really wanted to, which would really just send a message to everyone else that he is not here to play around. There's a shield. Oh man, that's so disheartening to see how much health you have to deal to those shield maidens. I mean, his lap pull downs will do a little bit less damage because they're an AoE attack, but I mean, that shield maiden just shrugged him off like they were nothing.
And I think that's why he's leaning on his towers so much right now too, just to give him his own back a break there.
As you mentioned, the back exercise is super effective against water, so.
Preston has some hands flying around there for a second. It's always interesting when they get a mind of their own.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like the computer's like, wait, we're losing? Let's just really start to mess with you and mess with your two gauntlets. Yeah, you can see his hand it's out there spazzing out.
Doing great. Keep moving.
At the rate things are changing in this type of technology, I don't think it's going to be much more than a year or two before we really get tracking technology where we want it to be.
Oh yeah, that is the only downside with VR. Is it up there? His pink hand has just left the stadium.
Yeah, it was done.
Good news for him is while all this is happening, he does have a rock dude at two Scotties just kind of shooting down the crystals. So I mean, he's getting a nice little break, honestly, right now. He really hasn't had to do anything, and the Brute's crystal is already down to 27%.
And again, without knowing the other person's score, you still feel that looming of, oh my gosh, I have to get this done like right now. And so those little technical glitches can just feel huge.
Yeah, you're like, really, this is going to cost me? Little does he know. I mean, he gets this crystal, he's guaranteed to win this one. This will be his 5th. Andrew's sitting at only 3 right now. I think Andrew's even on the verge of losing one of his. So I think Preston, he can sit easy knowing that he has wrapped this one up, but maybe he'll push for, he's got double damage mode, so maybe he'll push for another crystal or at least another gate here in the final minute and a half, really cement his victory. Be curious.
Looks like Andrew's going with a water attack at this point to try to get rid of that shield maiden, which just takes that much longer. But again, everybody's legs are going to be their strongest go-to. That's why shield maiden is a bit cruel.
Did you see that?
Looks like there's the Firehawk from Preston. He's still going for it.
He is.
He Firehawked, and now he's going to set up here to maybe take down. I don't know if he can get a crystal in a minute. That'd be pretty impressive, but he might be able to get that right side gate here. Just in case, like we said, points are the first tiebreaker, so maybe he's worried that they're closer to a tiebreaker than he realizes.
And he probably feels like he lost a lot of time, and, he just wants to get as many points as possible, so that makes sense.
45 seconds left. Andrew's nearly on the verge of actually losing his crystal. It will not matter. He's only at 3. Preston's at 5. So Preston is pretty much wrapped up this one. But an excellent showing from both our competitors. 5 crystals is just insane. 3's about what we saw last week for the most part. So pretty good showing for Andrew. Just unfortunately ran into maybe our strongest competitor in Preston.
I definitely think this was going to be a tricky one.
12 seconds left. I think Preston has wrapped his hand. He even took down the gate, though. He put it, wow. I'm just impressed that Preston in the last 45 seconds able to take down a gate. It's not going to matter. He had the crystal win, but that's still an impressive showing from Preston there to get 8,000 points and take down 5 crystals.
Especially on this battle. This was an intense one, so hats off to him for sure for this.
Huge congratulations to Preston, like we said. 5 crystals destroyed. Andrew only able to get 3. They were pretty close for about the first 15 minutes or so. And then, unfortunately, Andrew just ran into an issue where he got a crystal to about 10%, and then all of his units died, and he was just unable to find much from there. And of course, this is just very grueling workout. So props to both of them for being able to beat a diamond level boss. Well, the Black Box VR Winter Invitational is supported by Bang Energy. If you're looking for something to fuel your next workout or hike, or if you want sustained energy as well as peak mental and physical performance, Bang is the energy drink for you. Bang Energy, potent brain and body fuel. And now we're going to toss it right over to the post-match interview to see how Preston feels about his performance here.
All right, folks, I'm here with Preston. It sounded like a tough one in there.
Man, that was tough. Yeah, I was definitely not expecting the tanks they put out, for sure.
Well, how do you feel about your performance today?
Good. Yeah, I think I put up a decent score. I think it was like 8,000 to 1,000. Got a couple crystals. So I think it'll be a tough one for Andrew to beat, so we'll see. But yeah, no, overall happy. Definitely felt the cardio kicking in, and like I said, with the strategy, it was, I said I was going to go legs, and I did.
So you stuck with your original strategy?
Yep, did a couple,
good.
yeah.
Question.
Yeah, I did a couple legs back to back, and then like we were talking about the water champions versus the fire champions. So
right.
Started out with a title, water champion, and that slowed him down a little bit, but then I just went right back to my tried and true Rock Dude and Scotty follow-up, so it worked.
Right on. Well, it sounds like you did good in there. Is there anything you would have done differently if you had to choose something?
I probably would have, I might have done buildings a little bit earlier. I waited a little bit, and then my timing was off when I did finally field the buildings, the towers, but overall, happy with it. I guess just like every other time, I just wish I would have gone faster and harder. So
yeah, definitely. Well, 5 crystals, that's pretty good. 5 crystals, right?
Yeah,
5 crystals. Well, thanks, Preston. Appreciate the interview, and you better get some good sleep tonight.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, he's probably going to sleep real well tonight after that performance.
Absolutely. That was intense. That was a very intense battle.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of all that is he was like, I thought I did okay. I only had 5 crystals to destroy. I mean, very, very humble in his victory. So, I mean, a huge shout out to Andrew. I think 3 crystals might even challenge what some of our other competitors they do. I know 2 to 3 was kind of, where it felt like everyone else was sitting. So, yeah, I'll be really excited. I mean, hey, maybe he wants a Bang energy drink to refuel himself after that workout, because I've heard these things are pretty good. I think we have Rainbow Unicorn. Is that what it's called? I'm going to try this one out. This is definitely the one that's caught my eye a couple times in the store, and I really want to check it out. You have a sour one, right?
I do. I have the Sour Heads over here, and it's a lot like like an Apple Jolly Rancher.
I know you said that it was like extremely sour and that you were pucking your lips a little bit. I was like, nope, that's not for me. I would not be able to talk. I am not a fan of extremely sour things. So I cannot wait to check it out. We've got our next matchup coming. I think we'll probably take a quick little break, let everyone get reset here, and then we'll have our second match coming up in the Black Box VR Winter Invitational in the quarterfinals. We'll take a quick break, and then Fish and Amber will be back for match number 2.
Welcome to Black Box VR, the world's first virtual reality gym, combining the addictive qualities of immersive video games with the life-changing power of serious exercise. This is your chance to build muscle, burn fat, increase your cardiovascular endurance, and completely level up your life. Now it's your turn. The first step to your new life is to download the free Black Box VR companion app. This app is where you will create your account, choose your game username, set your goals, and enter important details that are needed to personalize your experience in the arena. From there, you can easily schedule your first introductory workout battle and book your time in one of our private VR booths. When it's time for your first onboarding session, you'll check in on the app to receive your assigned booth number. On your first visit, our friendly hero trainers will give you a tour of your gym and show you the waiting area, the power-up wall, where you can get a free serving of one of our selected pre-battle supplement, the warm-up cool-down zone, free lockers, and private bathrooms with showers. If you don't have your own arm garments, you can grab some free ones from the front lobby. Be sure to get the right size and get one right-hand garment and one left-hand garment. When it's time for your first battle, the hero trainer will guide you to the booth that you were assigned to in the app. This private area is where you will interact with the virtual world and the Black Box VR dynamic resistance machine. Our smart device will automatically adjust the handles for your height and for the direct damage exercise you've chosen to do. The bench pad will stabilize you during special exercises that require it. Be sure to keep your hands away from the machine while it's configuring. Don't worry, you'll be able to see it when you're in virtual reality. If you ever have a problem, you can hit the emergency stop button. Just don't hit it by accident. The booth has lockers for your belongings as well as a place to hang your workout towel. Make sure you remove your watch or any bracelets so there is room to wear the arm garments. The hero trainer will help you put on your arm garments and make sure they are comfortable. The trackers will be charged and ready to clip on. We use these trackers and arm garments so we can track your hands in VR without using traditional controllers. It doesn't have to be perfect, but try to keep the arm trackers in this position for optimal tracking. The headset will have been cleaned, dried, and completely sanitized before your battle. The CleanBox technology uses medical-grade UVC light to help keep you safe and clean, and our VR covers are swapped out as needed. Now it's time to transport you to the practice arena. Put on the headset and tighten it so that it's comfortable. You can adjust the top strap as well, if needed. If things look blurry, you can adjust the IPD like this anytime during your battle. This sets the lenses to the actual positions of your eyes. When you start, you'll still be in the booth. Turn around and make sure you see your name on the menu. If it's you, hit I agree and follow the quick prompts. Set your height so we can adjust the machine for you. Say goodbye to Earth for now. It's time to transport you to the Black Box VR world. By the way, I'm Maya, our AI trainer, and destroying their crystal earns you 1,000 points. The battlefield is split into 2 lanes. Champions on the field cannot cross from one side to the other. The crystal is protected by gates in each lane. To destroy their crystal, you must first break through one of these protective gates. If you can get it from 100% health down to 0, it will explode, and that will get you 500 points. Then you are free to attack the crystal from that side. So that's 500 points for every gate you destroy, and 1,000 points for every crystal. The team with the most points when the time runs out will be the winner. After one of the crystals are destroyed, the round is over. The field will be reset, and the next round will begin. So, what tools do you have to make your way to victory? The most powerful weapons in the game are your direct damage exercises. This is where you will use your actual strength and determination to unleash the power of air, water, and fire out onto the field. The stronger you are in real life, the more damage each of your reps will do. Your first time in the arena, I will show you how to do your first few direct damage exercises like standing row, which is a powerful lightning air attack, and squats, which shoots ice shards at any enemy that dares to go against you. For standing row, simply choose the lightning orb, put it in the hopper that's connected to the dynamic resistance machine, and wait for it to configure. Once it's done, you will be notified in your heads-up display. Now activate your direct damage weapon by hitting the Activate button. If you don't hit Activate, you won't be able to see the handles. Since you are facing the machine, once you hit Activate, the platform will rotate so that you can see the battlefield. Stand on the blue feet that you see on the ground. Reach over and grab the red handle with your red hand. Then reach over and grab the blue handle with your blue hand. Put your chest up against the pad for stabilization. You will be in position to begin. Slowly perform standing row reps by pulling with your arms and back muscles to move the handles through the orbs. Continue doing reps like this to fire your lightning attack. Make sure you use controlled motion. If you do not go far enough back, it won't fire. Do full reps. Be sure to move both arms at the same time. You can control which lane your lightning bolt will fire into by glancing either left or right to make your selection. Once you have selected a lane, you can keep your head straight and it will continue firing in that lane. Do not twist your neck and continue to do reps. You could injure yourself. Quickly move your head towards the lane you want to select. Then move it back to center. You can change lanes as many times as you want during the set. Your attack will automatically target the closest enemies in your chosen lane. Once that unit has been destroyed, it will target the next closest one. If there are no enemy units in that lane, you will begin attacking the gate. Once the gate has been destroyed, it will begin targeting the crystal. Take the crystal down to 0% health, and you will win that round. When you begin a direct damage exercise set, you will be doing 1x damage out onto the battlefield. After you grind through enough reps, you will unlock supercharged mode, which delivers 2x damage for every additional rep. Keep going, and you can achieve hysterical mode, which is a whopping 4x damage. Even the toughest foes will be taken out quickly with that much power. Yes, you have a higher likelihood of winning if you can dig down deep and do a few more reps than your competitor. These are also the reps that will make your real-life body stronger and more fit. Each set has a maximum of 25 reps allowed. Your virtual weapon will need to cool down after all that firing. Once you feel tired, simply release the handles, and the machine will automatically retract. Before you know it, your body will begin to transform, and you'll have more real-life strength, power, fitness, and aesthetics than you ever thought possible. Direct damage attacks are just one way to challenge your competitor and take down their crystal. Champions are your team of powerful units that go out on the battlefield to fight for you. Once you strategically deploy them, they will attack the enemy units, gates, and crystal all by themselves. Your job is to protect them with cover fire from your direct damage exercise attacks. To deploy a champion, simply grab their orb
Arena. We're on to our second match of the night in the 2020 Winter Invitational Black Box VR Tournament in the quarterfinals. We just saw Preston advance past Andrew in a very, very high-scoring match, 5 crystals to 3. We'll go on to our next one here with Isaac and Josh, 2 competitors we saw a couple weeks ago. And I'll be really curious to see how these guys do, because like I said, 2 to 3 kind of felt like, for most of these guys, the winning number. So I'll be curious to see if we get another guy like Preston who goes up to 5 crystals, because that is going to be a high score. I think a lot of guys are going to maybe struggle to match here, because this is a pretty high-level boss. Preston just makes it look incredibly easy somehow.
He really does. I'm going to be very interested to see if anybody else can hit that many crystals against this particular boss.
We also heard in our post-match interview with Preston, he said he waited a little bit to go with the towers. Didn't see Andrew or him really make too much use of the towers besides just destroying those shield baits. So I'm curious if Isaac or Josh will do that. And then I think the biggest thing is their back strength, because it's been pretty easy to spot that the Brute is going to throw out at least 1, if not 2 shield maidens right away, and that's 90,000 health that you've got to burn through rather quickly, and the easiest way to do it is either with a row or a lat pull down. So there's going to be a lot of emphasis put on those exercises here for these 2 competitors.
Very true. It's going to be a big strain, but this is what we want to see people do. We want to see them push themselves to their limits and really achieve some pretty cool greatness in this sport.
We started with 16 competitors. We're now down to the final 8. The win conditions, as we've talked about, most crystals destroyed. If there is a tie there, we'll go to the tiebreaker, where it'll be higher score differential compared to the boss. And then if that is tied, we will go to total pounds lifted as the final tiebreaker. And I would think tying in that would be nearly impossible. So I cannot wait to see. We had a couple of crazy tiebreakers last week as well. We even had one go to the total pounds lifted, and then we had another tiebreaker go to score differential. So every little bit of score does matter. If you can get that last gate, you can see why it is going to be a very, very, challenge to the finish. We see here it's the Brute this time, and I think the biggest reason why he is much tougher than the best we saw last time is those level 29 shield maidens that are going to have 90,000 health that you're going to have to rip through in order to be able to do any damage in that lane.
That is an impressive deck for a boss to have, and all of his direct attack levels there. Those are all very, very intense. So he just all-encompassing is living up to his name, the Brute. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, but the only thing that I think might be a little bit easy for the competitors is his squat level wasn't the highest, so the rock dudes that we saw a lot of guys go with aren't going to be just mowed over as quickly as if, you were trying to summon something like a Big Sue, the wind tank, who would be ripped apart by his fire beam. But yeah, still, it's going to be trying to deal with those direct damages, trying to get through those shield maidens that he summons very, very early on in the battle. So, we saw Preston go max rep rows and then max rep rows again, and he was just barely able to take those shield maidens down. So it's going to be a lot of back strength for these 2 guys as we get ready here to kick things off. But we're going to actually have our pre-match interview this time to see how the competitors are feeling going into this one.
All right, folks, I'm here with Land of Schmucks. A few questions for you today before you get started on your battle. Have you recovered since last battle?
Yeah, I've taken a couple days off. I think I'm ready to go. Yeah, feeling good.
All right. Well, what exercises are you going to focus on today, do you think?
I mean, they have a lot of tanks, a lot of water tanks. I think it's going to be a pretty heavy back day, but I mean, my legs are my strength, so I think I might stick with that quite a bit.
All right. Well, can you share with us a little bit of your strategy going into this battle today?
Yeah, so I talked with my coach, Jake. We were talking about some strategies using Big Sue, the typical tank with the archer behind it.
Right, we've seen that strategy pretty much a lot in this tournament so far.
I did put Lightning Tiger into my deck this time. I'm thinking I might be able to use him if I'm a low elixir. I don't know. Just kind of see what they throw at me and see how it goes.
So out of your battle deck, Isaac, what do you think will be a key player, a key champion for you in this battle today?
I think Big Stu is going to be a big factor for me, honestly. But we'll see. I mean, I'm mostly worried about their Shield Maiden. We're going to have to see what they do with that because, I mean, it's a really high level Shield Maiden, which means a lot of health. Right. It means a lot of rows, a lot of exercises for me.
So you said you're worried about, Shield Maiden, the opposing champion. Are you worried about Josh, your opponent, at all today?
I mean, I kind of got to focus on my game, but I mean, I don't know what happened with him. I'm a little worried. I mean, it seems like he did pretty well last time, so we'll see. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
All right. Well, we're gonna go into the battle anyway. Good luck, Isaac, and thank you for the interview. Back to you guys.
Seems pretty calm. He knows what's happening.
Yep.
He knows the strategy. I think the biggest thing is going to be getting through those shield maidens. I mean, if you can do it in one set of rows, especially early on, I mean, that's going to make a huge difference besides doing a row, then having to stop, let the machine reset, put in another row. I think it's going to be really key to see how fast you can get those rows done early on in the battle.
It's going to be really good to see how they end up playing this. But it seems like, Isaac was coming into this with a decent strategy, so I want to see how this plays out.
I'll be curious with the big Sues. I mean, because I know that the Brute's best direct attack was a fire attack, so we'll be doing super effective damage to the air tank there. So I don't know if that big Sue is going to work out as well as he was hoping for, but we'll have to see. I want to see if towers. He didn't even mention towers at all. Maybe he's just not going to lean on them. It doesn't seem like a lot of the competitors use them as often as we've seen. Like some of them, like Preston, they'll use them a couple times. He even said in his interview, I wish I would have used them more. Some of them just kind of like, I don't really want to use it. It's time where I'm not attacking. So we'll hop into it, and
then give them some cover
looks
fire
like
with your direct
for
damage
Isaac, he's going to have to deal with the
exercises. You
hammer
can do a
time
lot
first,
of
not the
lighter
shield bait.
wave
So he's going to
backs
have to
right
change
now
it up a little bit,
to
not have those rows to start off with.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what Josh was starting out with. I know in the last round he leaned very heavily on the overhead press as far as that meteor strike, so I'm curious what he's going to go for with this.
So they both have a hammer to deal with. And then it looks like, did he put a rock dude down to soak up a lot of that damage on the side of Isaac? Looks like he did. Josh is just kind of pumped through as much reps as he can right away. Doesn't want to use any of that energy elixir that you start with.
Yeah, sometimes it's a decent idea to hold on to it so you can release a bit more all at once. Again, with this boss particularly, I think it's some of the tried and true ways are getting put to the test here.
Yeah, unfortunately for Isaac, he's already got one hammer time hitting away at his right gate. He's got a boulder bell hitting away at his left gate, and now since he summoned that rock dude and the boss is able to get all that energy elixir, he's got another hammer time running at his gate, which is probably the other reason why you might want to save like we saw Josh do, because now the boss isn't going to have any energy elixir, where against Isaac, he was able to summon a whole new champion he has to deal with.
This is true.
It's like one, it looks like they both have gotten the hammer times down. We saw Isaac in his post-game interview, he said he wanted to lean on his legs. Well, there you go with those squats. He's got the supercharge, and he's just ripping through the hammer time. So he's going to get a ton of energy elixir off of that.
He really will, and it's great to play to your strengths, especially if what's on the field. You're going to have a lot better chance to take it out.
Some water units with this lightning attack.
Not seen a shield maiden yet, which is kind of surprising from the Brute.
Yeah, it should have made an appearance by now.
Then he's, maybe he's keeping them on their toes. He's got a couple of boulder bells out. I know I've seen a couple hammer times. Josh still trying to deal with that boulder bell on the left side. He's got a rock dude running down. It looks like here we go. He's going to get the archers behind that rock dude to start destroying that right side gate pretty quickly here.
That's how you do it.
Oh.
Go.
Well, that's his own shield maiden. Kind of eating not quite a high a level as the Brute. It's only level 2 for Isaac as opposed to the Brute's level 29 shield maidens.
But it should hold out for at least for a little bit. I mean, typically a tank's going to absorb a decent amount of damage.
Unfortunately for him, he just barely has enough energy elixir. Opted against it. Looks like he probably wants to take down those two boulders, and then he might be able to have a ton of energy elixir left. Here's those lap pull downs we were talking about for Josh, and there you go. Now on deck for the Brute. There's that shield bait, and he's going to be very disappointed to be seeing here very shortly.
Yeah, that is it's going to be a tricky one, especially if your go-to is fire. Then shield maiden's not going to be the best one to do that to.
Nice use of Isaac of the lap pull down. Gets the AoE damage on both the boulder bells that were staring his way. Took down one. He is supercharged, so a couple more reps should get this one. And he's going to have a decent chunk of energy elixir when he finally takes her down. And hey, much like Josh, there's to come that shield maiden right away.
There it is.
which I will say Josh has lost a gate, so he is, you know, already in a very tough spot because he's got a Shield Maiden beating down on his Crystal already. That's a ton of health. Oh, and he's got a Hammer Time on the other side. A very, very unfortunate start for Josh right now.
Yeah, I don't envy him at all right now. I think Isaac just ended up getting a Big Sue out on the field.
I think that either a Big Sue or a Winja. I know we see Josh has a Winja trying to do some decent damage to that Shield Maiden.
Yeah, every little bit helps at that point.
Winja hits pretty hard. And it does sound like Isaac has also lost the gate as well from the announcer. Yeah, he has, so. And he's got another Shield Maiden to deal with. Lovely. Hey, that'll help though.
Yeah, the double damage is really going to be helpful.
Yeah, he's going to.
Yep, put it up on heavy.
With thought he would have gone with the lap pull downs. I mean, he said in his interview he wanted to go with his legs because that was his strength. So I guess he'll use the double damage mode to offset the fact that he's going a water attack on a water unit.
His gate is just both of their gates are very dangerously low right now.
You can see Josh's Crystal's only at 45% as well, so he's got to be incredibly careful. Oh man, I just feel bad for Isaac. Not only is there a Shield Maiden on the left side, there's another Shield Maiden now being spawned by the Brute on the left side, but it looks like Isaac has decided he's just going to go for the all-out, just try and burn down the enemy Crystal, hitting max reps there with these squats, double damage. And he's going to do it once. He's just going to run it back.
Yeah, you got to seize the opportunity. I mean, can't let that left side distract him right now. Get that Crystal out of the way. The pain will be over momentarily.
Yeah, everything will just, you know, you get a nice little reset. So there we go. He's got the squats. He's going to try and burn down that Crystal as fast as he can.
Oof. That gate is going.
Yeah, that gate is gone. He's got two Shield Maidens on that left side. There's nothing he can do. But he's in hysterical mode. Couple more reps. One more. All right, hey. That's definitely an interesting strategy there to just say, hey, I'll ignore my my own Crystal and go for the other one. So nice little start there for Isaac. And he uses that break, gets some water. Josh has gotten a gate down, and he's got a couple, looks like 3 Scotties. Well, 2 now, as soon as I said that. One of them just got burned off the face of the earth. So he's not in a bad position as well, but his Crystal's completely unprotected, and it's only at 34%.
That is not a good spot to be.
No, that is a very, very scary spot to be, but he's got the 2 Scotties, and it looks like, luckily for Josh, the Brute has decided that building a tower right now is the best thing to do. So he can maybe burn this Crystal down here if he... Nope, I was going to say, if he can get to Hysterical, but no, he just wants to do as much damage as he can and then switch exercises.
Yeah, and again, the only way you'll reach that Hysterical is if you put that on heavy. So right now, going lighter will definitely help him keep his energy up physically, but it will reduce the amount of damage that he can do overall.
He's got to be careful. His own Crystal is very, very low. It does look like Isaac has built his own tower to help deal with that Shield Maiden. And there's that Big Sue that he was talking about in his interview that he wanted to summon. Putting one of those out on the field. They'd have to guess on the right side, but maybe on the left side. We'll have to see.
That champion has a lot of health points and won't be easy for them to take down.
I didn't quite see where he put it.
Nah.
Looks like he put it on the left side. It is the Shield Maiden, unfortunately, does not care about his tank that he put out.
Not even a little bit.
But he's got that, you know, he's got the Tesla coil out to help him do a little bit of damage. Now he's going to switch to the Rose, so...
This will be a lot of air attacks, so that should hopefully get that Shield Maiden's health down a lot quicker.
Okay, he's going to have to put probably a full rep into it with Hysterical. He might have switched it to light mode. I did not see. So he might have to just do 2 reps of Rose here. Yeah, it looks like he's going to take a break. Curious what he wants to go with. If he wants to go with either another set of Rose or a lap pull down. Oh, man. This is a battle to the finish for Josh. The Brute's crystals at 10-15%. His own crystals at 16%. Unfortunately for him,
he's got a Shield Maiden right there.
yeah, he's got one Shield Mail running down. He's got another Shield Maiden on the other side. I think Josh, unfortunately, is going to lose this crystal right here.
I would be surprised if he could keep it.
Yeah, it looks like he lost it.
Yep.
So he's in a very big hole right now. Not only did he lose out on a crystal, he's also down quite a bit in score 10 minutes into the match. So he's got to change up his strategy quickly here.
He really does. And Isaac's doing the slow and steady, but there's just, that's a big hole to fill.
You can see for Isaac, he's got one gate pretty low, and then there's two towers staring him down. So I'm not going to say I'm very envious of his position either right now.
Not at all.
Oh, man! All of the energy elixir goes to the red team then.
Wonder if... Sounds like a Firehawk might have got called in on the others, on Josh's screen. I don't know if it was by him or by the Brute. We see that Isaac's built a tower here. Wants to get his own little tower set up. Try and help him out. He's got a pretty big tower now. He might even max it. Yeah, he will max it. That's pretty impressive. It looks like Josh has used some sort of power-up. You can tell there from the power-up indicator. One of them is no longer lit up green. So I don't know what he used. Maybe a grenade, I'd have to guess. Hard to tell. He's got two rockets, though, on that right side. If he can get some more energy elixir, he'd be pretty set.
You know, that's definitely, coming back pretty strong.
And see, looks like for Isaac, he's got two hammer times staring him down. He's got that big Sue out that he talked about in his pregame interview, but neither of his gates, especially his left gate, are in a very favorable position. Josh has absorbed that lost crystal and started out pretty well, so he gets his own little max rep tower.
It does seem like the Brute is more evenly dispersed over the lanes on these matches right now.
Yes.
Keeping it mixed up for our competitors for sure.
Yeah, definitely an interesting one because, we see the competitors only focus on one lane, so there isn't it's not always a bad idea to just say, hey, I'll ignore whatever's happening on the left side. Unfortunately for Isaac, that left side gate at 25% is probably not what he wants to see, but he's got a Shield Maiden that was there and has now been eliminated, and he just built a Scotty, and now he's probably wondering if that's a good idea right now.
Yeah, without that tank to give that Scotty some protection, that's risky. Oh, he's going to go for another big Sue. But that just shows you, too, a Shield Maiden at a level 2 versus a 29, how long it will last.
Yeah, those level 29 Shield Maidens are very, very close to being almost unfair. As we see, Josh looks like he's got a Sunbird, either a Sunbird against him, I'm assuming against him. So I haven't seen a Sunbird in anyone's lineup, but I know it was in the Brute's lineup, so he'll just take that one down. Build some Scotties. He's got his own, setup that we've talked about. Almost every competitor's done that, but
definitely. I mean, it does work.
Yeah.
Even with the balance changes, I mean, it still will hold out. It just doesn't hold out quite as long.
Yeah, until you find something that's better than the current meta, there's no point in trying to, rethink the wheel. And Josh is, he's got a long way to come back. As we said, he lost his first crystal, so he's down quite a bit in score, and he hasn't even found one. Unfortunately for Isaac, you can see he is in hysterical mode, but he's lost his own gate now, so he's got to be careful.
He really does, and that other gate is just so low right now.
He's got a Shield Maiden staring him down. Might not be an awful time to use your Firehawk if you're Isaac, but he wants to hold on to it for now. Yeah, I would think with the hammer time coming out, I would definitely. Yep, there it is.
Yep, when you got that many tanks on the field, it's best to just take the elixir for yourself.
Exactly. Get all that elixir back. Save your crystal a little bit. Nice use there. I don't know if he doesn't look like he has a gate down, unfortunately. That's about the only downside right now. But he just cleared the lane out, so he's not even going to use that energy elixir. He's just going to try and put as many squats into that left side gate as possible, which is what he talked about in his interview, was his strength, he felt like.
And there it goes.
It's close to hysterical. He might be able to do, he's hitting this crystal for like 6% of the time. If he can keep going, lost the grip on the handle. He's got to be careful though. His own crystal is getting absolutely destroyed as well.
I think it'd be a good time to put some champions out there, personally, but we'll see what he goes with.
Yeah, I think a tank might be the way to go. Just absorb some damage. Yep, there it is. There's the Big Sue. Got to get it out quickly enough.
Yeah, that's a pattern I have not figured out yet, so I'm glad nobody has to watch me hunt and peck for that one.
Yeah, I just beat the boss to unlock the Big Sue and the, I believe the Rock Dude on Wednesday, so I haven't yet to try their patterns, and I'm already like, this is going to be a nightmare for me.
Absolutely.
I will say he's just not going to go to protect his crystal. I think he probably should have put something on that right side just to eat at least 1 or 2 attacks, but he's going to go double Scotty and a Lightning Tiger, so he's going to just try and crystal race the Brute right now, which if he gets it will be huge. If he doesn't get it, that could be what allows Josh back in this event.
It's a very dangerous gamble right now.
Oh, and a turret or a tower got put up in his way, so he's got to deal with that first as well.
Oof.
He gets it down though. Oh, but there's that fire beam. I think he's going to regret not putting something on that right side very, very quickly.
Yeah, let's see where he puts this one.
Yeah, even just putting a Scotty on the right side just to eat 1 fire beam would be so helpful.
Oh, he's just going to stick with the left.
Wasted no time taking down the blue team's tank champion.
He puts down the Scotty and it just falls, unfortunately.
Yeah, they are not as durable as you'd want them to be.
Well, we see Josh in a somewhat similar position. He's got a hammer time and a boulder belt and another hammer time on that right side. The crystal's at 10%. Probably not a bad time for a fire. I mean, it doesn't feel great to use the Firehawk right now, but that's a lot of health you got to get through if you're Josh to be able to take down that crystal and tie the score up.
Yeah, there's a lot in between him and that crystal.
Well, so he's just going to power out some reps, and it does look like, unfortunately for Isaac, his strategy did not pay off. So he lost his crystal, so he's going to have to, all of that progress he had is going to get reset.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate, and I'm sure hindsight right now is that he should have put something on that right side.
It's like he's going to put his own Shield Maiden down, try and absorb some damage from that hammer time on the left side. He's still got the lead, though. Josh, I mean, if he survives this all-out assault on his right side, Josh should at least be able to get the crystal to tie it up, but right now he's got to survive that hammer time, boulder bell, fire tower, and it looks like actually the crystal went down. I don't know if he's summoned a Lightning Tiger and it snuck past or what, but Josh has tied up everything here in terms of crystals and actually score at 1 aside.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know what he did. I guess it had to have been a Lightning Tiger.
Yeah, I think that would be the best way to get that down like it was.
This is a very, very close match. I mean, right now we're looking at, well, one, something we haven't seen is the computer actually winning. But they're also tied, so we might have to go to the total volume lifted tiebreaker at the current pace. But there's still 12 minutes left for one of these guys to get down another crystal.
Very true.
Rock Dude for Josh. I always feel so bad when you go through one of the slices and you think you hit it, but you didn't, so you're already on the next stage, and the game's just like, no, so what are you doing? Where are you punching? You're not punching anything right now.
Exactly.
Go, go, go.
Isaac got a Shield Maiden and nothing else on that left side. Not an awful strategy, but he's got to deal with that Amber and that Lightning Tower on the right side, so I'll be curious. There's the squat, so maybe he'll try and bust that one out pretty quickly. Meanwhile, that Rock Dude's going to be pretty tanky for Josh.
Yeah, he has a lot to deal with on the field right now, too.
Now, both of them, I'll be curious to see if either of them wants to try and just ignore the right side. I mean, the hammer times have a lot of health, it seems like, so
They really do. I mean, we've been talking a lot about the Shield Maiden being as strong as she is, but you know, the Boulder Bell and the Hammer Timer really beefy too.
The squats for Isaac. His right side gate took a ton of damage, but he's got supercharged finally. And that's just so painful. You take down one and then you look and you're like, really? There's a Shield Maiden? Really? Is that why? Why again the brute?
Yeah, exactly.
So Josh it seemed to have faced way less Shield Maidens. I don't know if it's what it's about, but Josh has sort of lucked out that he hasn't had as many Shield Maidens as Isaac has had.
Yeah, so far. He's got the luck of the draw right now.
Yeah, Isaac unfortunately now has lost his gate. Looks like he's going to summon, he's going to use one of his power-ups here. Berserk on the Winja maybe to try and nuke down that Shield Maiden. I don't think it's going to work out for him because it looks like that Winja's taking a ton of damage.
Oh, and it's gone. Oh, you hate to see it.
He's got that, I think that's the Ember in the back that's just like such low HP. He just couldn't quite get to it in time. So he's got no sidekick left, only one power-up left, and he's going to try and build a lightning tower, a Tesla coil tower here just to help him out a little bit, but that crystal under siege, and there's not much he can do until he gets to that Shield Maiden.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what he goes with here. Well, if he gets a little bit of protection on that right-hand side, that could definitely help.
Yeah, if he can get a decent amount of armor on this tower, that'll help him just a little bit. I mean, he just needs to attack that Ember one time. Unfortunately, while he's doing this, that crystal is taking a ton of damage.
It really is.
Got it built there, though, so he'll throw it down. Oh, and he's got a hammer time there. Now that just...
Oof.
It's gone from bad to worse for him.
It really has on that side.
That's a lot pull down, though, so that'll help a little bit. And he gets double damage mode. Maybe enough to bail him out, but...
And the Brutus is wailing on him right now.
Yeah, that crystal's wailing on it. He's got... Well, looks like he finally took the Ember down. He's got the Shield Maiden, the Hammer Time. The Brute's got Fire Beam queued up. I think, unfortunately for Isaac, he might lose his crystal here.
I don't think it's long for this world.
Which, I mean, right now they're tied and crystals destroyed, but for the tiebreaker, being down 2,000 points to the boss, probably not where you want to be. And
it would hard to, you know, not feel disheartened and defeated at this point. But he's still pushing through.
He's trying to keep up there. Josh does look like he's tied in score. Looks like the Brute's crystal's exposed, so he has taken down a gate of his own. So at least in terms of score tiebreaker, he's sitting in a pretty good spot, and he also would have a great chance here of maybe taking down a second crystal and putting himself in a nice little of an advantage. Which I'm going to have to say, I think at this point Isaac maybe has lost his crystal and is going to have to restart. Oh, that double damage mode is going to help Josh a lot.
Yes.
Fortunately, maybe he'll opt for an exercise he's more comfortable in. No, he just wants to put down that tower. And a Winja. And the Brute's building a Tesla coil, so if he can find an exercise he likes, this would be a great time to just burn down that crystal. But it looks like he's building a tower of his own right there, so an interesting little choice by him.
Yeah, I mean, with his right-hand gate there being at 31%, I don't blame him for wanting to get some protection on it.
He's got the Brute's crystal at 50% as well. Both of them are tied at one crystal destroyed aside. Unfortunately for Isaac, he has lost his crystal, so I think he is losing in score right now. I think it's 4,000 to 2,000 for him. Josh, meanwhile, you can see he's tied at 2,500 each. So should we go to a tiebreaker right now, Josh would be the winner off score differential. Yeah, you see Isaac right now down 2,000 points. He's going to have a pretty insane final 6 minutes here to be able to pull off the win.
He really will.
It looks like Josh has got the strat. He's got his towers wailing on the crystal. He's just taking it pretty easy right now. Letting the towers do all the work for him, and it looks like maybe his own Sunbird as well. No, maybe it looks like that's the enemy Sunbird. He just absolutely mowed through.
Yeah, Josh is in a much better position right now.
He's got a turret to deal with, a tower for the Brute. I think I saw an Ember being placed, but yeah, here we go. This is what I like to see. The Lightning Tiger, just throw them all down there and hope they can do the damage you need. I like that play.
Oh, especially when you've got an exposed crystal. I mean, to not use a Lightning Tiger would almost be foolish.
Pushed up against the pad and your head
It's got enough for I think it's something. Yeah, I think he's just going to throw 6 Lightning Tigers down at the enemy crystal and just kind of hope they could do it. He has no power. He has used everything. And so is Isaac, actually, in terms of sidekicks and power-ups. So, he doesn't have a Berserk for him, but if they're uncontested, they should do a ton of damage. Unfortunately, it looks like that Ember did turn around, and it's helping protect out the crystal. So, I don't know if this Lightning Tiger spam is actually going to work out like he had hoped.
If you have enough of them down there, it might give enough of a buffer, but it also gets the enemy off your gate, too.
He did put a Scotty out as well on the left side. Got a Hammer Time running down at him. So we saw this in the last match, actually, with Andrew, where he got oh so close to getting a crystal, and then there were just so many champions in his way, he was just never quite able to take it out. So I'll be curious if Josh, he loses his right side gate, if he's going to be able to take down this Ember and this Hammer Time and maybe work on that crystal, because he's only going to need a couple of attacks into it in supercharge mode to take down that crystal and put himself in a really good spot.
Yeah, if he can get the lane cleared, it's all his.
Oh no, there's a Shield Maiden coming too.
Oh.
Maybe the boss bails him out and puts it on the wrong side. Oh, she did. She put it on the right side. The Brute maybe trying to take down his crystal. That's going to help Josh out a ton. Not have to go through that 90,000 HP in order to be able to attack the crystal.
I mean, it's still, she's going to come straight for his crystal, but you'd rather see the race towards the crystal finish than anything.
Yeah, if that Shield Maiden got put on the left side, I think Josh might have had a very, very different outlook. But he's going to put a Winja down. Got enough for a Lightning Tiger as well. He might be able to win this crystal race with the Brutes only at 18% and no energy elixir, but he's got to be very careful. This is going to be very close.
Very close indeed.
The fire beam chest press attacks one enemy at a time and does some serious damage.
He's got an exercise queued up. There's no champions on the left side, so one exercise for Josh would be able to take down this crystal and put him up with a lead with only 3 minutes left, which would be huge.
Yeah, all of those champions being in the right lane is really a benefit to him right now.
Unfortunately for Isaac, he actually just lost his left gate. He's in double damage mode, but he would need to take down a gate. There's a Sunbird coming his way now. I mean, it just feels like all hope might be lost for Isaac right now. And Josh gets the crystal, so he's up 2-1 with just 2.5 minutes left. He might have just done enough to be able to pick up the victory here.
It really looks that way.
Unfortunately for Isaac, when he just couldn't quite beat the Brute in that crystal race, I think it's going to come back and cost him here. He had the enemy crystal at like 10%, just didn't have enough. He's got a Shield Maiden staring him down, a Sunbird. Just a whole lot of...
Whole lot.
The blue team destroys their competitor's tank champion. Oh, they just earned some serious
Yeah, he's got an hysterical squats though. It's double damage mode, so maybe he said he wanted to rely on legs, so maybe he just pumps out a ton of squats back to back to back here and gets this crystal. I mean, that would be pretty impressive if he can get a crystal here in the final minute and a half.
It would be very, very impressive.
That's the big Sue out, try and tank some of that damage. Got enough to put one more Scotty behind it, so 2 overall, maybe a couple Lightning Tigers. He might be able to do it here. I think point differential will end up costing him in the end, but if he gets a crystal here, I would still be very impressed with his hustle towards all the way to the end.
Destroy some
it really shows us how determined he really is.
He's got Big Sue, 2 Scotties, a Lightning Tiger, minute on the clock, 2 Lightning Tigers, excuse me. I mean, he's going all out. He's trying for it.
He really is.
And there's the squats. He might get this.
I mean, it's best, it's going to be a much better feeling to know that you tried all the way to the end.
Especially if he's able to get this gate and this crystal in the last 30 seconds. I mean, it looks like the gate's at
That crystal is no longer protected.
it's at nothing now.
Is yours. The crown
All right,
is on
30
your side.
seconds to get this crystal down. All right. He might get this, actually. Probably 2 more reps. Hey, I mean, that's pretty. We got a gate and a crystal down in the final minute. Unfortunately, I think the score difference is going to be what costs it. He takes a break.
Yeah, I would sit down after that, too. That was insane.
It's like Josh was also victorious. He was able to take down 2 crystals. So they both took down 2 crystals. Unfortunately, in the tiebreaker, it was Josh who won because he had a 500-point score differential, and Isaac, despite that heroic final rush to the finish, still lost to the boss by 1,000. So Josh advanced on the tiebreaker, but still, I'm honestly more impressed with Isaac almost coming all the way back there. I mean, he took down a crystal in less than 30 seconds after taking down the gate at the very end. That's pretty impressive.
That was super impressive, and so hats off to him for that. That was a big push.
Don't forget the Black Box VR Winter Invitational is supported by Bang Energy. If you're looking for something to fuel your next workout or hike, or if you want sustained energy as well as peak mental and physical performance, Bang is the energy drink for you. Bang Energy, potent brain and body fuel. I actually cracked open the Rainbow Unicorn while we were in our break-in. I mean, maybe I'm just bad at describing taste, but I cannot quite describe what it tastes like. I would just say if someone told you they were eating candy but never replied to your text when you asked what candy, that is what it tastes like.
I think that's a fair description of that.
Just liquid candy, which is very good, actually. I'm not gonna lie. I saw this in the store and I'm like, all right, that's kind of a weird name, but I definitely would recommend the Rainbow Unicorn. I have blue raz up here. I'm not a big blue raspberry guy, so I'll pass on that one. But Rainbow Unicorn definitely gets the fish stamp of approval. Do we have I was curious if we have a post-game interview off of that one. I'd love to hear from either of them. Isaac would be the one I'd want to hear from because I'm sure he has a couple of regrets, but also I'd love to hear him kind of just say, hey, I took down a crystal in 30 seconds, so, come on, respect me just a little bit there. So I would love to hear from either of them, but a huge congratulations to Josh, our overall victor.
All
Here's
right,
the
folks,
post-game.
I'm here with Josh. Just finished his grueling arena battle, sounded like. How did you feel about your performance today, Josh?
It was not good. It was not good.
No?
Definitely had a bum out there. So my left knee started acting up on me. So my strategy of I'm going to do all squats and just really pound the thing. That didn't hold out. That didn't last. Sometimes that happens. You got to play to how you feel.
Right.
But mostly, I took some risks, which I was planning to do, and they just didn't work out for me. So 3 times I ended up getting the crystal under 20% and throwing everything at it and just not quite getting there. And the tough thing about this game is when you send everything out, they get taken down. All of that comes back at you before you can get through it and get another shot at that crystal. So,
right.
That was, I figured it was going to take probably 4 to go to tiebreaker, 5 crystals to win outright. So I went all out on it and didn't work. By the end, I was sitting there standing around. And I don't know, my rock dude, he started standing around too. And I can't really blame him because that's how I felt by the end of that thing. So I don't know. I got through to the end, 3 crystals. I don't think it's going to be enough, but we'll see.
All right, well, you give it your best try. Did you stick with your original strategy, or did you have to adapt halfway through? Tell me what went down there.
Yeah, I mean, it was, if anything, I doubled down because, again, I took those risks. And when the first one, I lost a crystal. I don't remember the last time I lost a crystal. When that happened, it's like, okay, now I got 20 minutes to do it instead of 30 to get as many as I could get. So kind of kept doubling down on that. And, didn't pay off this time.
Right on. Well, is there anything you would have done differently just in retrospect with this battle, or did you leave it out all on the battlefield?
I think I pushed it too hard a little bit early. I know listening to the commentary last time, I heard a lot of like, well, what's this strategy? What's that strategy? And honestly, I can say most of the time what's going through my head is like, how can I not die or collapse here? And, or late in the round, you're looking at your 6 exercises and you're going, which one of these, like, do I hate the least right now?
I can feel you there.
So, I think that's kind of, it starts to build on you. If you have it tough early, you go that extra hard, you get behind the 8 ball, and that's the deal. I got out of breath, I was having trouble keeping up, and it just spirals from there.
All right, great. Well, those are some good words of advice. Thank you, Josh, for the interview, and good job today.
All right, thanks.
Back to you guys.
Appreciate the honest commentary from Josh of his goal is not die and pick the exercise you hate the least.
Is very accurate. There are times when it comes down to what hurts the least right this moment, and you use that as much as you can in order to get ahead.
Yeah, I will say for Josh, I mean, he came in that, of course, they don't know what the other one did, and he was like, I thought I needed 4 for a tiebreaker, 5 to win. Luckily for him, that wasn't the match he was facing Preston, because that's when he would need 4 or 5. Now he is unfortunately going to have to face Preston, so he'll need 4 or 5 in the semifinals. But he was still the victor. He only needed 2, advance on the tiebreaker, but still a huge shout out to Isaac for at least forcing a tiebreaker, taking down a Crystal in 20 seconds. As we saw there on the screen, Barrett Law did advance. We weren't able to capture that one, so we're going to have just one match left tonight. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for our final match of the night, Chuck versus Mr. Mojo here in the quarterfinals of the Black Box VR 2020 Winter Invitational, coming up right after this short break.
Here in Idaho, we do things a little differently. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. Next, always use fry sauce. I mean, why wouldn't you? Hold steady when out-of-state friends think you're from Iowa. We call it pop, not soda. We always put a lift on our pickups. And we always buckle up because we still have a lot we want to do, and I'm guessing you do too.
Legendary parts for legendary wins.
Growing up in Idaho, we have certain rules we live by. Hold steady when out-of-state friends think you're from Iowa. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Game Pants Esports Arena. I was fending off our Blue Raz Bang Energy. It's it's a very highly contested product right now, and we got to keep it up here because I might drink it, I might not. We'll see how fast I can finish this Rainbow Unicorn. So we are into our last match here of the Black Box VR 2020 Winter Invitational. Of course, if you are just joining us, we started with 16. We're down to our final match of the quarterfinals. There's the Blue Raz right there. I don't think, getting inside the can will not, there we go. That's what you want to see right there. Boom. If you are interested in Bang Energy, of course, it is a sponsor and helps supporting the Black Box VR Winter Invitational. If you're looking for something for your next workout or hike, want sustained energy as well as peak mental and physical performance, it's the energy drink for you. Bang Energy, potent brain and body fuel. I've got my nice Rainbow Unicorn that I cracked open. Definitely was an intriguing name, and it did its job. Here are the win conditions. Like I said, if you're just joining us, it is most crystals destroyed. If there's a tiebreaker, like we actually just saw in our last match, it'll go to higher score differential against the boss. They're taking on the Brute, and if for whatever reason that is tied, like we saw in our first round a couple weeks ago, we will then go to total volume of pounds lifted, which is actually what we've seen once, and we were kind of close that last match, but unfortunately Isaac just had a negative point differential. We're on to our final round, Chuck and Mr. Mojo, and I think, Amber, that I know we didn't see Mr. Mojo last time. I don't know if we've seen either of these competitors on the stream so far in our Winter Invitational.
Oh, we have not. This will be their first time debuting over here on the stream.
Well, I always love, when we have these tournament formats and we can't capture every game because we would just be here for hours. I always love when guys who we didn't get to see in the first round are able to be on stream for the next round. And they're going to have a very difficult opponent for them to try and show off against. It is the Brute who we've seen. Of course, that Shield Maiden at level 29 we've talked about quite a bit. Very, very tough. We've seen Hammer Time come out quite a bit as well. And now we're going to toss it to the pregame interview with Chuck.
Today's workout brought to you by Bang Energy Drink. Get your bang on.
All right, folks, I'm here with Charles in Charge.
How's it going?
Otherwise known as Chuck. A few questions for you, Chuck, before you jump into the arena.
Let's do it.
Have you recovered from last week's battle?
Yeah, when I came out of the last battle, I was pretty wore out, but I knew that I had hopefully another session coming up in the future if I beat my opponent. So I worked out twice since then. Okay. When I came in, I just made sure I did more lighter weight. I didn't want to take the full time off, but at the same time, I didn't want to strain anything as I prepared for my next match.
All right, so you gave the muscles a rest, but kept them active. Good deal. What exercise are you focusing on today?
Well, it's my understanding that my opponent has a couple water units that are pretty high level, which are susceptible to wind and lightning damage. So I have a feeling I'm going to be doing a lot of back. And then if back doesn't take them down or I'm more out on back, then I'll probably just try to rip out a bunch of squats or deadlifts to try to finish them off.
Okay, that sounds like a pretty good strategy. Any other strategy you could share with us as far as like your champions go? What champion might be a key player for you today?
Yeah, I'm still pretty confident that Rock Dude soaking up damage is going to be a big piece of my strategy. But I did put my Big Sue in the deck since it does lightning damage or more damage to water units. So I don't use that particular champion that often, but I have him in there just to try out in case I need to.
Good deal. Yeah, Big Sue's a good go-to. I use him personally in my deck. Last question, we'll finish on this. How do you feel about your opponent?
Well, I don't know much about my opponent, period. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. I know what they put up for a score, and so against this particular boss, I know that it takes a lot of effort to get at least 4 crystals inside there. So I'm shooting for at least 4. Hopefully I can get more, but only time will tell. We'll see here in a minute.
All right, well, thanks, Chuck, and good luck in there. Back to you guys.
To me that if from the last 2 competitors, both Isaac and Chuck, 4 seems to be the goal, which 4 would win a lot of these matchups. So I'm surprised that they're setting that they're that confident in their opponent, because it seems like 2 to 3 is what I would be thinking is what they're aiming for. But I guess if you get 4, then you automatically win. So it's interesting to see that how tough they think their opponents are going to be.
It's very interesting to hear the way they think this is going to go out. Because, typically, 3 crystals, you think 1 crystal per round, and there you go. But, having that extra one for cushion probably feels pretty good.
We'll have to see here. It's our final match of the quarterfinals that we'll be able to get on the stream. It is Chuck and Mr. Mojo, neither who we saw in our first round. So it's always nice to see them both get a debut on the stream. And so as we heard from Chuck, he definitely thought that you know, it's going to be those shield maidens. You can already see, looks like, as we hop in, Chuck's just a little bit ahead in terms of time. Just an extra minute gone by, but both of them taking on a shield maiden and a Sunbird making an appearance there for Mr. Mojo. Not something we've seen, I don't think, any competitor use.
Not in this set of rounds, no. It has not. Sunbird hasn't been in anybody's deck.
It's a very aggressive start from Mr. Mojo. He put a Sunbird out and a Lightning Tiger. Usually we see guys do what Chuck is doing here, which is save that 1800 energy elixir you get when the round starts, try and take down that shield maiden, and then put out everything behind your rock dude. So two very separate strategies here in the first couple of minutes.
It's nice to see a good mix-up, too.
Looks like those rows should be enough. It's going to be very close.
I'm not sure if he's going to run out of reps before the shield maiden runs out of health.
Oh, exact amount of reps takes down the shield maiden. That could not have been a better start for Chuck. And now we're going to see what he talked about. Get the rock dude down. Probably able to get two Scotties behind it as well. So Chuck probably got what he thinks is a perfect start. Meanwhile, you see there for Mr. Mojo, now he's got to deal with, looks like a shield maiden doing it with the fire chest press. It's going to just do normal damage. I know some games, if you're, you know, water versus fire, you do half, but we don't have to worry about that. But still not going to do it as much as a row would do.
And that is true. It is not the best one to pick, but, you know, it does save those back muscles for later when it really comes down to it.
Looks like Mr. Mojo might even be doing what we saw Isaac do, which is just completely ignore the left side and kind of crystal race down the Brute, because he's just going to say, you know what, I can't deal with this shield maiden. I don't want to worry about it right now. So he's just going to leave that left side maybe completely uncontested here. Oh no, he just wanted to switch attacks, it looks like. So that'd be an interesting strategy. Unfortunately for him, both of his gates are under a lot of pressure. He's actually lost his first gate, and now his crystal is just under complete siege from this Ember. And hey, look, there's another shield maiden on this side for the Brute.
Oh, it was very nice of the Brute to do that. You know, and that's just hard too. This is before heavy mode's available, and it does put you at a disadvantage.
Yeah, that is the one downside of the strategy we saw Mr. Mojo do, which is spending all of your energy elixir early, is that it's going to give all of that over to the Brute, and now the Brute's going to be able to do exactly what he's doing, which is a shield maiden, another shield maiden, and it looked like Ember. He waits for heavy mode to come online. He's going to go with the deadlift there. I guess take down the Ember, who's sieging that right side gate. Unfortunately, I don't know if the game's going to let him target the Ember.
Yeah, I don't think it's in the right spot for it right now.
Yeah, the deadlift does do AoE damage, but I don't know if he's going to get it right now. It looks like I can hear from the announcer, looks like Chuck has maybe just destroyed a gate and lost his own gate. We'll have to see when we go back to his view. So neither of them really off to a great start, as you see max reps achieved there. And yeah, looks like Chuck has taken down a gate.
Yeah.
So he's in a pretty good spot right now.
And Mr. Mojo's got 20% left over there on these other gates, so that's a little nerve-wracking.
He's got 20% on a gate. He's got the crystal at 44%. I mean, right now, Mr. Mojo's probably hoping that his crystal gets just taken down, because he would save those 500 points that might come in huge at the very end in any sort of tiebreak scenario. But unfortunately, he might go down a full 2,000 points here, as that left side gate probably just going to be destroyed. Yet there it goes. Ooh, this is just a rough start for Mr. Mojo right now.
Yeah, it's not pretty, that's for sure.
He did clear out the right side finally, though. He's hysterical squats. I don't know if it's going to do enough damage. Oh, he hit max reps.
Oof. That leaves him in a not a perfect position.
No, his crystal's only at 5%. He's Sunbird going to try and eat some of that damage. I don't think it's going to matter. We do see Chuck has also lost his own gate, so the Brute definitely coming out to play here and making these competitors work for it. Is Mr. Mojo has lost his crystal, so he's down a full 2,000 points right now. That is not how he wanted those first 6 minutes to go.
No, that is not what you want to start out with at all. That's a big deficit to build back up from.
I will say Chuck's not in a very advantageous position. You see he's got two shield maidens, each with 90,000 health, beating on his gate and his crystals. So would not shock me if we maybe see both competitors lose a crystal here in the first 10 minutes, which would be absolutely crazy.
It would be. It would be not what you want to see, though. That's for sure.
No, we do see the hysterical squat, so looks like Chuck's once again going to try for the strategy that we saw Isaac do, which is just try and crystal race down the brute. He's got the hysterical squat, so it might actually work. Unfortunately, he maxes the reps. If he can get one more hysterical squat, he might actually take down this crystal. It's going to be really, really close, actually.
And those back-to-back sets of squats, and that's not for the lighthearted.
See his crystal taking quite a bit of damage. Tries to queue it up. Oh, this is going to be so close. I think he's just barely going to miss it. Oh, 13% on that crystal, and he's going to lose it as well. Luckily, he didn't lose his other gate, so in terms of points, he's still in a sizable lead, but both players, unfortunately, losing an early crystal. Not probably the situation they wanted to see themselves in.
No, you don't want to start off in the negative, that's for sure.
See how they can recover. I think Chuck, I mean, like I said, from what I've seen right now, Chuck feels like he should be more comfortable because he was only 13% away from winning that round. Mr. Mojo just unfortunately got absolutely sieged down because he definitely goes with the aggressive spend all your energy elixir early strategy, which definitely came back to bite him that last time.
It really did. And again, with this boss being set up just a little bit differently, you got to mix up your play styles.
It does look like he's taken down a gate already, and now he's on those hysterical squats on that crystal. So maybe Mr. Mojo just wanted to give the brute a head start because he's looking, this is looking way different than we saw the first 6 minutes. And he's going to go from squat to deadlift, get a sunbird out there. He's going to try and get right back with a crystal pretty quickly, which is pretty insane. He's got a shield maiden coming, so he's got to move quickly.
He really does, but nothing can motivate a person more than losing a crystal in the first round.
Let's look like Mr. Mojo has used some sort of power-up. I would have to assume with how fast he took that gate down, it was some sort of berserk combination, but I could not quite tell. And I thought I heard the Firehawk go off from the announcer. I don't know if it was the brute or if it was Chuck using it. We'll have to see when we go back to his screen. But right now, Mr. Mojo is just going to do some more squats and try and rush down this crystal. Good news for him, that Shield Maiden got put on the left side. They didn't even have to worry about it. Basically a sort of a misplay there by the brute.
Yeah, a little bit. Definitely in Mr. Mojo's favor. I still think the Sunbird is an interesting strategy to go with, considering what's typically going to be field. But we'll see how it plays out for him.
Oh, no. You could see there the hysterical squats. 4% short on the crystal. Yeah, it does look like we see Chuck has used his Sunbird, or his Firehawk, excuse me. So he is going to be out of that sidekick for the final 20 minutes, but give him a bunch of energy elixir for him to maybe siege down his crystal of his own.
And sometimes you just get put in that spot where you got to use it earlier than you really were hoping to.
Looks like Mr. Mojo should. It looks like he was able to get those squats out before the hammer time got summoned. So he gets the first crystal of the match. So nice little comeback there for Mr. Mojo. I was not expecting him to be able to go from losing a crystal in 6 minutes to getting one in about 3.5 minutes. Pretty insane.
Yeah, you can definitely see the determination kick in.
But once again, these Sunbirds, I mean, I would love to hear, if we do hear from him in the post-game interview, what the Sunbird strategy is, because that's something that I don't think we've seen a single competitor this week or last week even ever think about using.
And the one reason to use a Sunbird, since it is an aerial attack, your opponent's going to have a unit that could actually take it down. So considering what the Brute has in its deck, the Sunbird is almost untouchable.
Yeah, it would require the Brute to target it down with one of its energy attacks. And we see there a double Lightning Tiger. Looks like he also maybe wants to throw a grenade out on that hammer time as well. Or actually, he's going to throw it right on the gate. This is a very aggressive strategy for Mr. Mojo. I kind of like it.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing around anymore.
Also, he's got something with the minions. Can't quite see what that one is. It's the minion group. That's another one I haven't seen at all.
Yeah, that's the minion crew. That's not fun to be on the other side of.
Now, Mr. Mojo has a very interesting deck. We do see Chuck, by the way, has taken down a gate of his own. He's got the Brute's Crystal at 65%, so he's working his way back to tying this one up in terms of overall crystal score. And since he didn't lose both gates, he would have a slight advantage in terms of point differential. As we see the Mr. Mojo right before we went off screen did destroy the gate. So he has got that crystal exposed once again. I like the aggressive strategy from him.
Well, and Chuck right now, he still has 2 of his power-ups left. He's got a Berserk and a Grenade over there. So even though he used his Firehawk, he can still go back, and he has something in his, basically up his sleeve at this point.
You got the Hysterical Squats. Unfortunately, none of that damage being directed onto the crystal. It's trying to take down, it looks like an Ember there. Should be able to get it, yeah. So he's going to get some energy elixir back, but unfortunately all that damage was wasted and couldn't go onto the crystal.
It'll be interesting to see which lane he throws Rock Dude in here.
My assumption would be he'll throw it on the left side. He'll put down a Scotty as well, and then maybe pump out an energy attack. And actually, it looks like the Spear-Nado going to come out and not the Scotty.
It would be nice to have, a fire and a air type out there on the field at the same time.
Yeah, and the air unit's actually going to help out because the Shield Maiden came down from the Brute. I'll be curious if he has double damage mode right now, so maybe he can put some rows in and just power down that Brute. Mr. Mojo, meanwhile, has got his second crystal here at 57%.
Yeah, that ties him with the Brute right now.
Yeah, he's like, those first 6 minutes must have been a fluke. Maybe something went wrong. Maybe because right now he has just been dominating the Brute, even though he lost. He went down a full 2,000 points, lost both gates and his crystal, and right now he hasn't given up anything to the Brute since.
He really hasn't. He's been holding his ground really well. And, with this boss being the way that it is, you just probably weren't expecting the Brute to come at you like he does.
Yeah, and the Brute, the first match we saw the Shield Maidens, they were fast and they were often. Doesn't seem like they've been as frequent in these last 2 matchups, so maybe players predicting the Shield Maiden, and then you see something like a Hammer Dude or a Boulder Bell come down, and you're like, I guess I'm not quite prepared for what the Brute wants to do.
Yeah, this boss is keeping players on his toes really well.
Another minion. This is a consistent strategy for Mr. Mojo. It's one Sunhawk or Sunbird, 1 or 2 Lightning Tigers, and then a minion crew, and he just kind of starts going to town on that crystal. He's used both power-ups, but it's worked out as he should be able to take down the second crystal and give himself a nice 2-0 crystal lead here halfway through the battle.
That will help him out a lot.
Added at 20%. He's got the supercharged squats going down as long as he's got This should be a quick work of this crystal. Hysterical squats.
Yep.
Yeah, wow. What a response by Mr. Mojo. That's 2 crystals in 10 minutes for Mr. Mojo. That's pretty impressive.
That's insane. Yeah, hands down, definitely making a comeback.
Meanwhile, we see for Chuck, he's got the Brute's Crystal at 30%. He's got the Hysterical Squats as well. Should be able to get it here. Unfortunately for him, though, this is just his first crystal. So he is still a full crystal behind Mr. Mojo right now. I think he's going to regret trying to crystal race the Brute there at that first part. Because, if he wins that, or even if he's able to get that first crystal before the Brute, I think he would be in a much comfortable spot. He'd probably be in the lead right now, but unfortunately he's a full crystal behind. And Mr. Mojo, same strat, 2 Lightning Tigers, 1 Sunhawk.
And it looks like over on Chuck's side, Brute went straight to the Shield Maiden. Looks like Chuck was waiting to see what the Brute was going to throw out before he made a decision. Never a bad idea.
Uses the Hysterical Grenade there. Does 75% to the Shield Maiden, so that'll be light work for him. Eventually, unfortunately, going with the chest press, not going to do super effective damage, so it's going to take a little bit longer to take down that Shield Maiden. Supercharged. Should be able to get it.
There it goes.
I'll give him a nice chunk of energy elixir there. give him enough for
good old Rock Dude.
1 Rock Dude and 2 Scotties, it looks like. Maybe even a Lightning Tiger if you want to throw that in there as well. So not a bad use of that.
Oh, gonna go with the Spearnado.
Oh. I don't even know if I see a Scotty in his deck over there to the right side. Maybe he just prefers the Spearnado over the Scotty. Nope, there she is. Guess he just prefers the Spearnado in case a Shield Maiden comes out, which makes sense. Would have that super effective damage. It's like Mr. Mojo is finally running into some adversity after those last 10 minutes where he absolutely destroyed the Brute. He's got his own tower there, but he's got a Hammer Time staring him down. He's got a Shield Maiden as well. Probably not an awful time to... He knew exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, not a good time for that. Well,
I think he's waiting for the for the Ember to be built there. So he's going to get a ton of energy elixir.
Yep, that was good to just wait that out just a little bit.
He's going to get, what he's got.
That should give him at least 3,000.
I'm just hoping he throws down like 10 more Lightning Tigers.
Just a whole flock of Lightning Tigers.
Yeah, make it look like, it's just an exhibit at the zoo, and there's just a bunch of Lightning Tigers. Oh, I think he's going for it.
Yep.
Mr. Mojo will be my new favorite if we just get a okay, never mind.
Ah.
No, I wanted the 9 Lightning Tigers just all beating down the gate, so I'm a little disappointed we went with the, the Sunbird here to compliment.
Oh, there's another Lightning Tiger for you, though.
All right. I'll respect it. He wanted to get the 1 aerial unit out there. Huge fan of the Lightning Tiger. I think that's my favorite unit.
It is a very clever unit.
That is my current unit. Every time I go on the app, I'm like, is there a Lightning Tiger for sale? No? Okay. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll have a Lightning Tiger available.
I'm still working on leveling mine up, too, just so he lasts a little bit longer when he's out there.
I don't care. I just want him to do more damage. I wouldn't even care if leveling him up made him lose health. I just want him to do as much damage as possible because I think it's a really cool strategy. They just run past everything. And he might get another gate here with this full-on Lightning Tiger siege. I think he did lose them all, though. The Tigers have been forced to retreat into captivity.
Yeah, you hate to see that.
But
oh, there's going to go again.
Yeah, he did a good job saving, half of that energy elixir. Does look like he's got a Shield Maiden coming, but it's on the left side, so I don't even know if he's going to worry about it. You see, Chuck, he's got 10 minutes. He's got 1 crystal destroyed, so he's only 1 crystal behind Mr. Mojo. Tiebreaker would right now be on his side if he can even up the crystals, since he only has given up 1,500 points, but he's got a Hammer Time, and he's got a Shield Maiden going against him, and he doesn't have any sidekicks or power-ups. This is going to be a rough 10 minutes for Chuck, unfortunately.
It really is, and that's probably why he was assessing the situation there for a second to see what his next move was going to be.
I like Mr. Mojo's strategy. He's completely ignoring the Shield Maiden. Kind of gets bailed out that it's on the wrong side. And he's got the crystal exposed for the Brute once again. He might get a 3rd crystal, but it does look like the Brute finally going to take down a gate. So points against Mr. Mojo starting to add up as long as Chuck can get down a crystal. And this tiebreaker would go in his favor if he can get it there.
Yeah, Chuck's got a lot happening on that left side there, too, that he needs to worry about. So we'll see how this ends up going.
Yeah, he's got a lot on the left side. He's got a Boulder Bell on the right side as well that he's got to deal with. It's going to be probably 2 or 3 minutes, depending on how well he can deal with these 3 champions before Chuck's going to be able to do anything. But once he does take care of all 3 of these champions, he's going to have a ton of energy elixir, and he's in double damage mode. So he's got a nice little setup here to maybe throw down a Rock Dude and a bunch of Scotties once he can clear out this Boulder Bell.
Yeah, I would think the focus... there goes his gates.
And he just couldn't quite get a couple more squats in on that Boulder Bell. Mr. Mojo's also lost the gate. He might be in a bit of a crystal race now this time with the Brute. He's got his crystal at 45%. Mr. Mojo's own crystal's at 51. And here comes the Lightning Tiger span to try and sneak past all these enemy units. He doesn't have any power-ups either. This will be really close, actually. Can all these Lightning Tigers do enough damage?
I hope they do. I like how many Lightning Tigers he's using.
And he gets past his hammer time. He's got quite a few Lightning Tigers down there. Looks like he did do it. And he might, for the first time, be the person who out-crystal races the Brute. And he does. That's his third one now. And he's put himself in quite the comfortable lead at 3-1.
Yeah, that's got to feel good, especially after how things started out. Seeing the score flip around like that.
Yeah.
Chuck's got he's got a 500-point lead on the Brute. However, he's still not quite where he needs to be for the match.
He does have the Brute's crystal exposed on that left side. He's got a couple of Scotties, a couple of Spearnados, and a Rock Dude down there. So he's setting himself up in pretty decent position. But Mr. Mojo, this strategy of Sunbird, Lightning Tiger, Minion Crew, it's been working pretty well for him actually at the start of a lot of these rounds.
It really has. It might need to be one of the new plays for the playbook.
Yeah, I have not seen anyone even come. I haven't even seen anyone bring Minion Crew or Sunbird in their champion deck, let alone use them as often. We see Chuck building a crystal, or trying to build a tower here. He's got the Brute's crystal at 48%, dropping pretty quickly. So he could at least get his second one. He is unfortunately losing right now 3 crystals to 1. So he's going to need quite a bit of a comeback here.
I'm just worried that these breaks that he's taking are just going to put him behind.
And he's already in a very, very huge hole he's got to make up. He unfortunately was not as successful base racing the Brute. And just ahead of the enemy, the Brute's crystal at 13% when he lost his own. Otherwise, I think he would have been in a much more comfortable spot. You can see he's got that tower out, and Ember is coming out against him. He's got his range minions, though, on the crystal, so he should be able to get the Brute's crystal here, get his second one. But Mr. Mojo sitting at 3s. Probably got a little bit too big of a lead to overcome here in the final 6 minutes. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this plays out. I mean, we've seen gates and crystals get taken down very quickly before.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see, how much Chuck can push.
Fortunately, he lost both of his range minions there. He's got a hammer dude walking down on that left lane, so not in the greatest of positions to be able to just get that second crystal.
And there seems to be a lot happening over there on the left lane for Mr. Mojo.
Yeah, it feels like as long as you can survive the Brute's first 2-3 minutes of attacks, you're good to go. And of course, Mr. Mojo kind of accelerates that since he does spend a lot of his energy elixir early. Chuck has gotten his second crystal, however, so he's only down 3 crystals to 2. So, I mean, if he pulls off something like we saw earlier, like you mentioned, where guys taking down crystals and gates in under a minute, he could be right back in it, but it's going to take a lot of work here in these final 5 minutes for Chuck to tie this match up.
Yep, we'll have to see if he's got it in him.
Well, Mr. Mojo trying to just survive this all-out assault. His left gate at 35%.
See the size of that thing. Hard to miss. The red team spent some serious energy elixir to deploy that.
He looks like he's done it. He's just got to take care of this tower. There's a boulder bell being built by the Brute, but I think if he survives this, he should be in a pretty fantastic spot. Yeah, he'll just throw a couple of reps. He's still hitting max reps on Hysterical in the final 5 minutes, which is very, very impressive.
It really is. It seems there's only been a small handful that push through on those Hysterical full reps. Because again, in order to achieve that Hysterical, you have to have it on heavy, and that is ridiculously heavy. When I put my deadlift and my squats on heavy, they're at easily 300, a little over 300 pounds each for myself. So you can imagine how much weight these guys are moving and how fast they're moving it.
Yeah, they just make it look like nothing. I will say, from what I've glanced at, Mr. Mojo's champion deck is very unique. I think I saw Hot Rocks in there as well, which is something I don't think I've ever seen anyone use. I like the creativity that he has in his champion deck, and it looks like it's going to work out here pretty well.
And sometimes it's what it takes. You take on a different kind of boss, you got to use a different kind of deck.
Yeah, I would have been really curious, like we said. We didn't see either of these guys in the first round. Would have been really curious if that was his same strategy. Because, I mean, everyone else is the the tried and true, the Rock Dudes, a couple of Scotties. We've seen Chuck go with the Spearnados a couple of times, but it's absolutely completely different strategy here for Mr. Mojo. And for right now, he's got a 3 crystal to 2 lead, and Chuck's got to deal with a Shield Maiden before he gets there.
I can only imagine that there's going to be some people taking notes from Mr. Mojo's match right now.
Yeah, I would love to have known if it was like it's something he has built up over time, because of course you have to level each one, so it's not like you could just throw down hot rocks right away. You'd have to be definitely keeping an eye on it, leveling those up over time. So I would love to hear from him if it was, I scouted this boss out, or if this is just what he does every time he comes in, because I like the aggressive strategy. That's definitely one that I'm going to keep in mind, because I think that definitely is way more fun than the build up a ton of energy elixir and then just throw down a Rock Dude and a bunch of Scotties and just kind of sit there and wait. I definitely like Mr. Mojo's all-in strategy.
Well, and of course, then it utilizes your favorite one. It utilizes so many lightning tigers,
yes. So
I can see why you'd like that.
Yeah, I think the lightning tigers, I would have loved to have seen him put down the hot rocks, which just kind of run at the enemy gate or crystal, and then will just blow themselves up and do a pretty decent chunk of damage. I just want to check out the minion crew. I know I don't have that one unlocked. I'll have to see how long until I get it, because it seems interesting. Like you said, it's not something you want to be staring down.
No, see, I haven't unlocked it yet, but I faced it myself. And at the end of a match, you'll see that the enemy has deployed 1,000 units. Versus the standard amount, and you're like, how did you get that many? And it's like, oh yeah, you had minion crew. Not fun at all.
Yeah, it definitely is a nice little strategy. Looks like he's taking down a gate, and he has also lost a gate. So he's once again in that sort of crystal race against the Brute. This time he is down. His is at 37%. The Brute's is at 89%, but a minion crew's going down. He's got squats. He might try and race this one out in the final 2 minutes. He might get a 4th crystal here. He's already up 3-2, so he's already basically won, but he might zerg down another crystal here in these final minutes.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how this one plays out.
He cleared out that left lane. He doesn't really care about that hammer dude on the right side. That gate's more than healthy, and yeah, I think he's going to be able to get a 4th crystal for Mr. Mojo to kind of let everyone know that this kind of crazy strategy is one of the better ones we've seen. I mean, this is going to be our 2nd best performance of the quarterfinals, with only Preston taking down more crystals.
This is true. And poor Chuck's got that tower. I'm pretty sure that's not. Not sure what else is in his way there, because I can't see around that tower there. So.
Yeah, it looks like maybe it's a boulder bell. Looks like there are something being thrown at that Scotty that just died. He has taken down the gate though, so if he had some, like we said, we've seen guys take down crystals in under 30 seconds. It does help to get double damage mode, so maybe Chuck can get it. But right now, Mr. Mojo at 4 crystals. Chuck's just at 2. I don't think he's going to have enough here in the final minute. So it does look like Mr. Mojo has picked up the victories. He's putting out more lightning tigers here, trying to find maybe a quick little gate in the last 30 seconds. And
hey, you never know, because when you can't see your opponent, your other participants score, you want as many points as possible, just in case.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, like we heard from, I think, Isaac, and we heard from Josh, and we heard from Chuck, at 4 crystals seems to be what they're aiming for. That's what they think is the number. So if you get that gate at the very end, those extra 500 points could be huge, especially since Mr. Mojo gave up 3,000 points, so he's not able to get it. He is going to be victorious, though, and Mr. Mojo with a nice little showing there. 4 crystals destroyed, Chuck only getting 2, so Mr. Mojo is going to advance to our semifinals.
Nicely done.
Yeah, huge congratulations to Mr. Mojo with, like I said, probably my favorite strategy we've seen. Nothing wrong with the tried and true Rock Dude and Scotties, but I think it's really interesting to see, all right, let's see how many lightning tigers we can get going. Let's put a couple minion crews down there. I'm only just a little sad he didn't put down the hot rock, just for kind of kicks and giggles at the very end there.
That's true. That would have been nice to see.
But a huge congratulations to all of our winners here. We had Preston, Josh, and Mr. Mojo all winning, of course, the Black Box VR Winter Invitational supported by Bang Energy. If you're looking for something to fuel your next workout or hike, or you want sustained energy as well as peak mental and physical performance, Bang is the energy drink for you. Bang Energy, potent brain and body fuel. So it's been huge for them to hop on board. This has been a really great first 2 rounds. I can't wait to see how the semifinals and the finals go, because I have to think right now probably Preston and Mr. Mr. Mojo are our favorites. Of course, we didn't get to see what Barrett did in his game against Rich, so have no idea who Mr. Mojo is going against in terms of what to expect. But Preston and Mr. Mojo definitely impressed me the most here today with their showing of getting 5 crystals for Preston and 4 for Mr. Mojo.
They really did push really hard here, and very impressive matches, and I am super intrigued to see how these next rounds are going to go, because if the Brute is anything to show how strong and tough our bosses are getting, these next rounds are going to be insane.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what the boss in the finals is going to look like. That's just going to be absolute mayhem. Josh, I know he didn't have the performance he wanted to. He even said in his post-game interview that he wanted to do, a little bit better, so hopefully he can get a redemption. And I did like the interview with Chuck, and that's a great question of, how do you prepare for the match the next week? Is it, do you just come in and do light exercises? Do you just come in and try and get enough coins to maybe level up those guys you think are the most important? Because you don't just want to take the whole week off, because that would probably lead to a disaster. But still, once again, huge congratulations to all of our contestants. And let's go to our final post-game interview of the night.
All right, I'm here with Mr. Mojo. Got a few questions for you. How do you feel about your performance today?
It went pretty well. I got off to a rocky start, but that's usual for me. I lost that first crystal, but after that, I think I won the next 4 or 5. I can't remember. So yeah, it was a good battle. I hadn't seen anything like that lately, so it was good to push myself. Dig down deep and see what I got.
Good deal. Well, let me ask you this: did you stick to your original strategy throughout the battle?
I did indeed. Put up a few Firebirds and the Lightning Tigers. My strategy is always to keep the tank units at their gate.
Right.
So Lightning Tigers does that for me, and the birds can pick them off, and then I'll come in with my exercises while they're still down there. So, yeah, I love that strategy.
Good deal. Well, is there anything you would have done differently looking back?
No, probably may have started that first round a little quicker. Losing that first crystal I wasn't happy about, but after that, that kind of, gave me the kick in the ass I needed. So,
for sure. Well, it sounded like a tough battle for sure. From out here, we could hear you. But thanks for the time, Mr. Mojo, and well, back to you guys.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about using the Lightning Tigers and the Sunbird not to do damage, but to keep the enemy tanks away from your own gate so that they're easier to deal with as you just burn them down with your exercise tag. I didn't even think about that, and that's what apparently his strategy is. I like that.
It's a good one, too. Because once you get the enemy off of you, that's going to be a huge difference.
Yeah, those extra, 15% damage that you're preventing from your gate could be absolutely huge. So, huge congratulations to Mr. Mojo. Like we said, he'll be taking on Barrett in our semifinals. Did not see how he did. Haven't seen him on the stream at all, I don't think, so I'd love to see him in the semifinals. And, of course, we have Josh and Preston in our other semifinals that we'll have coming up next week, or maybe the week after, depending on how the holidays go. Of course, don't want to make guys working out during the holidays. That would be no fun. But it's been a ton of fun. Once again, Amber, thank you for joining us. If you liked what you saw today, go check them out in the Zions Bank building in downtown Boise on the 2nd floor. It is a ton of fun. I personally cannot recommend it enough. But that is going to wrap things up for here to us today. Huge congratulations to the 3 winners we saw. Cannot wait to see the semifinals. But until next time, have a great evening.